And welcome to Saturday Night Show. Hammer in the building tonight.
Got that fresh internet connection, baby. Verizon high speed. How do I look?
There it is. Yeah, we look a little bit clearer. The your voice is coming in on time. It felt like delayed before. So,
I'm back, baby. I told you I'd be back with a vengeance. Let's fucking go. I'm jacked up. I haven't been this excited for a show since I got my my new microphone set up.
There you go. What's happening? Yeah, finally, because that was rough. Those few shows.
Bro, I was in the move. I had, Verizon, bro. When Verizon came here, it was such a shit show getting this internet set up, bro. Let me tell you. But I told those motherfuckers, it was such a shit show. So I told those motherfuckers, I said, bro, I got a fucking podcast coming up. My cousin's gonna fucking kill me if I don't get this internet installed today. Get this shit done today.
Damn right.
Let's go.
Let's
go. We back.
That's funny. Kevin in the building. What up, Kev? So you got that internet line up, Hammer. Like the vid, my peoples. Thanks for coming on, fellas. Appreciate you, Kev. You the man. Richard in the building. What up, Richard?
That's what we do.
He needs 2 full PPR. Thielen, Cup, Amari.
Woo. I think it's Thielen and Cup. No, at this point, Amari's concerning me.
Did jack shit.
Thielen
did jack shit.
Is this Joe Flacco? But I still,
I'm kind of feeling Amari a little bit with it.
Thielen. With Flacco, your boy.
I mean, I'm with you though. I still have faith in Thielen too.
I think I'm going with Thielen and Cup.
It was rough last game. And Cup, I mean, the fuck has Cup done? Like, Cup's been bad.
He got hurt.
He's been so bad.
Yeah, but
even still, though.
But you still gotta.
I mean, he smashed those first 2 weeks, right? That he came back, but then since then, like, he hasn't had over 48 yards in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Hasn't had a tutty in 5 weeks. And they're going against Cleveland. Does that matter? I mean, I know Amari don't have a QB, really. We still got Flacco.
Yeah, of course it matters, but
do we have to trust in Flacco?
Amari Cooper hasn't been that great either the last 2 weeks with the quarterback change. So,
well, because with that quarterback
change,
I'll
go Thielen and Cup, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, with the quarterback change, they've been throwing it short, which has not benefited Amari. But now you've got Flacco, who could open it up at least a little bit. I mean, it's at least a conversation, but
I agree.
Who's Thielen got this week?
Yeah, but Thielen had a bad game against Tennessee, but before that, 11 targets, 8 catches. The game before that, 10 targets, 6 targets, 11 targets. Like he's getting the work.
I'm still gonna roll with Thielen and Cup, but
you can make the argument.
This could be coming to an end for Cup. Like, this is not good. Like, he's not like the guy that we know him to be right now. Is it due to
And
injury?
what's
Yeah.
what's
Is it
wild about
part of
that
old age? Like, it's everything all together, like
what's what's wild about that is traded Cooper Cup in our home dynasty league. And it seemed like I was trying to, it was hard to trade him during the offseason because he was coming off the injury. But I traded Cup and it turned out to be a good thing. Now I traded him for Devontae Adams, I believe. No, I think I traded him for Eckler straight up. So that turned out to be a little bit of a win in that respects. But yeah, it's a little disappointing to see Cup kind of not be what we've known him to be the last 2.5 years or so. But if it's out of those three, you still have to have some faith in Cup that he'll be able to get out there. He's still getting the snap percentage. He's, obviously outside of the game that he got hurt. Out of these three, I still like Thielen and Cup. But you can make the case for Amari. I'm not feeling
yeah,
it.
I'm gonna go with Cup, but Cup could be coming to an end like
It's
this season here.
conversation, no doubt about it.
Kev said down bad at tight end with Hakon Bar. Yeah, I'm in that in a few situations too. Brevin Jordan or Jonnu.
Same.
What's Jonnu been doing?
How about death?
Jonnu. I know he slowed down from what he was doing earlier, but had the 22 a couple weeks ago.
Schultz is officially out, so that's why the Brevin Jordan conversation is happening.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then I mean they're going against the Jets also, so I mean I think Brevin is a decent option. He's probably did the same exact thing as Jonnu. I mean,
I think I would roll with Brevin Jordan here just because CJ Stroud is a really good quarterback. I think that's the thing that separates, where
yeah,
at least you'll
exactly.
know he'll get a few targets. It's a higher volume passing offense than the Atlanta Falcons. And the Falcons have all of their key guys, Bijan, Pitts, London, those guys. So give me Brevin Jordan in a high volume offense with CJ Stroud at quarterback.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna roll with Brevin as well, and just hope that Arthur Smith doesn't like cook up this crazy game plan for Jonnu Smith out of nowhere. So Isaac, what up, Isaac?
Cook up. I love that phrase.
Yeah, you never
Isaac,
know.
what to do?
You never know.
I love the way you phrase that.
Yeah, it's hard to know. Crazy, Jonnu Smith, Drake London, Bijan, but let's give the ball to Jonnu at the goal line time and time again. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
oh boy. But yeah, let's check out. I mean, I guess we could talk about some of these games this week. We'll save the bets for tomorrow, but we'll just kind of go over some of the games happening here. And I mean, we could talk about DK and CD Lamb just going ham.
Yeah, that was a hell of a game. That was an absolute whale of a game. And one of the few Thursday night games we actually got that was worth watching. Like that was worth the price of admission for that game. And what's wild about that is, and I was talking to Bagala about this because we did our single game parlay on this. Once I saw DK Metcalf catch that 74, 75-yard pass and take it to the house, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a hell of a game. Like he kind of just felt it from the opening drive, and it turned out to live up to the billing.
Bro, he should have had 200 yards and 4 tutties. Did you see the one that he dropped? Because it
I
was
did.
wide
I
open. He
watched the
was
whole
about to
game.
do it. He was about to do it again, and he wound up
I
dropping it.
watched
That
the
was
whole game.
crazy. Scott in the building from Taiwan. Shout out to Scott on a Sunday morning in Taiwan, Saturday night
Yeah.
over here. So
You know what,
shout
Scott? Shout
shout
out to
out to Scott.
you for kicking ass in the sub league as well. He's doing some numbers
I,
in the sub league. Shout out to you, Scott.
I was gonna say that as well. Shout out to Scott, who is destroying in the subscriber dynasty league. So
Yeah, he's doing numbers.
Yep. I mean, we still have a few
I
spots left
think
in the second subscriber league, which will start up we'll start up next year after this season is over. We're trying to fill that up so at least we have another one. We'll start another one for next year. So if you're interested in that, just hit me up on Instagram or send me an email. The email's right there on the screen. Roster reviews we'll start doing as well after the season. So,
yeah.
Chasers, what up,
You know what's
Chasers?
interesting about
What's good,
this?
bro?
You know what's interesting about the subscriber league? I was looking at it yesterday. I still have a chance to make the playoffs. Like if I win out and a couple other guys lose out that are 6 and
Yeah.
6, yeah, because
Oh yeah, you
I
can.
have a decent amount of points. So I need RC, Irish Massive, and or Marty Sods. Marty. Shout out to Marty.
Marty.
I need you to lose,
Shout
bro.
out to Minnesota, Marty. Chaser says he needs Cup to return to form. I mean, listen, if you can listen to Matt Harmon. I mean, recently he's had a bit on Cooper Cup, and he said he's charted him this season, and he's losing a step. He's not winning on routes. And you know what? He also is a little bit injured. He's banged up. He's coming back from injury as
The
well. So,
ankle.
I mean, that could have everything to do with it also. But just in general, he's getting older. These injuries are going to start to happen now more and more as these guys get older. We see it all the time. We saw it with Julio Jones. I mean, as one of the most recent ones, it's starting to happen. Can he still put up crazy weeks of production? Yes, but I don't know if we can
Not
depend on a whole
consistently.
season
Yeah.
of Cooper Cup doing what he did.
I will say this, and I talked about this, I want to say maybe at the beginning of the season where that insane usage from the year where he won the Triple Crown and then the first half of the following year, like the
Mhm.
usage was just so absurd. You can see that starting to take its toll on a guy that's not incredibly physical. He's a good receiver. He's amazing. I love me some Cooper Cup. He won me a championship in the first year of our home league dynasty. He was a good value too. I think I got him in like the fourth round that year. And I'm a huge Cooper Cup fan. I actually went to SoFi Stadium and saw him play. So he's amazing. But I think at a certain point with these guys, and Steve, you touch on this a lot, even though we love these guys, we have to come to the realization at some point they're not the same, such as Michael Thomas, Julio Jones down the line, DeAndre Hopkins has fallen into that category. Like these guys that we love so much, at a certain point in time, they're just not the same. And for fantasy purposes, you have to come to that realization, or else that's going to bite you in the ass from a fantasy perspective. So I came to that realization. I did not want to come off a Cooper Cup because he's been my guy. And I had to do it, right? I had to make my team better by giving up a guy that I truly like. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something to definitely take into note when when you have these guys on your team.
I mean, that's the other part of Dynasty as well is not getting caught up in the players. Like, play the strategy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who can you tier down to
Yeah,
or tier up from or, same tier, like whatever, but just get younger.
for sure.
Isaac said he'll do it. What's the buy-in? So it's $100 a season, and we pay $200 up front. So we do 2 seasons up front because we only want like serious people in there, and everybody is handpicked. So there's not like anybody really like new to Dynasty. I basically kinda
Mm-hmm.
handpicked everybody. They're all, subscribers and followers, that follow us. So, it'll be good just like the subscriber league number 1. I mean, it's been awesome so far. So,
Yep.
other than the fucking detriment of injuries that have happened to me since week 1, I mean,
And then I
but
dropped
I mean, it's
200 on your ass last week. Let's go.
I busted that ass week 1. I was about to drop
Doesn't
200, and then
matter.
Aaron Rodgers
Doesn't
fucking
matter.
went out and
Drop
fucking snap number
200 on your
4. He
ass.
fucking his fucking noodle leg just
Spank those
fucking
cheeks. 200.
oh my god. Ham, you might have to call fucking Verizon back, bro, because your shit was just bugging for a second, unless
Really?
that was me. Unless it was me, but I don't know. Anyway,
Oh, I
Richard,
thought I've been fine.
Watson, Rice, Higgins, and Curtis Samuel available. Should I drop Amari for any of them?
You could make the argument for Rasheed Rice at this point, in my
Ma-
estimation.
Yeah, you can make the argument for Watson. I mean, who knows if Curtis Samuel is going to do anything? We were talking about this yesterday, and I just downloaded the yesterday's episode. But I'm going to try and cut out a clip where I talked about how Sam Howell is, leading the league in passing, or at least in the top 3. I haven't checked it lately. Let me pull it up. Yeah, leads the league in passing yards.
Yeah, Sam Howell's been a beast.
Leads the league in passing yards, but yet Harry McLaurin is still a fucking bum. Wide receiver 24. And then Dotson is way worse. Wide receiver 45. Who the fuck is this guy throwing the ball to? Where is the points?
All right, let me look it up really quick. Oh,
where the fuck are the points? I mean,
hold on. I'll tell you right now.
Not in the guys that it should be or that we thought it should be. I mean,
well, here's the leading receiver. Dotson has 4 touchdowns. McLaurin has 700 yards, but the touchdowns aren't there. Right? And he's throwing it to the running backs. Like, Brian Robinson,
like
B Rob and Curtis Samuel, right? That's where it is. So between Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas has 424 and 3 touchdowns, right? So it's very spread out. Bro, B Rob and Gibby have 600 yards receiving.
Yeah, I mean, B Rob's been awesome. I guess that's where all the
that's
points.
What I'm saying.
That's the only guy, really. B Rob, Howell, like the only guys.
But B Rob and Gibby have 600 yards and 5 touchdowns receiving, right? So that's where it comes in. And Logan Thomas has another 424 and 3 touchdowns. So that's 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns between the 2 running backs and the tight end. That's not Dotson and that's not McLaurin. And then Curtis Samuel.
It just doesn't make sense. It's bullshit.
And then you get the Brian Pringles. You get the Samuels, like a little bit of Crowder, a little De'Ami Brown. It's all mixed in.
Now, I don't have any shares of Terry, but I just thought it was interesting when I was kind of looking up Terry yesterday. I'm like, wait a second, what's happening here? But yeah, I think I'm with you. I think Rice is probably the best upside of all these guys. So yeah, if I'm dropping Amari, I'd probably go with Rice. Unless Curtis Samuel decides to have some more 100-yard games. I mean, 12 targets, this guy. Scott said, "Let's go." Keep talking about DK's game now that I got him on the squad. Yeah, bro. It sucked because I was I was about to send some DK trades because I was like, you know what? Let me see if maybe I could snag away DK because it looked like Diaz had put him on the block, and then before I even got a chance to, it's like boom, trade was made, and I was like, fuck. But yeah, I mean, we know what DK can do. He's got that crazy high. He's got the crazy high upside. I mean, that team next year they can get rid of Lockett and it will cost them nothing against the cap. So it's going to be interesting what happens in the offseason if they just roll with JSN and DK because JSN, I mean, led the team in targets. Sucked that they called back that tutty. I mean, he should have had that tutty, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, DK's a beast. And he only signed a short contract. Like, he signed that 3-year deal. So, like, he could still go somewhere else in his prime, like, and play somewhere else. So, like, I really liked DK, especially at his cost before, obviously, the last game. PB Dubs. What's up, PB Dubs? Said like the stream. Appreciate that, PB. Make sure you smash that like for us, guys. Appreciate it. If you're new, smash that subscribe. If you're having fun, throw questions in the chat. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, join the crew. Scott said Hammer's still trying to convince himself after this that this season can turn around. Worst luck in Dynasty ever this year. So sad for you, my man. Yeah, bro. You don't see many you don't see many bad teams with a Tyreek Hill and a Jalen Hurts on their team. So
and Chris Olave and Sam Laporta and like Jordan Love's been solid like over the course of this season. So it's been pretty bad luck for me. But I like the team. I added Bijan Robinson. We didn't even talk about him. I added Bijan Robinson. I traded for Monty. Like that team, I genuinely like the team. I don't have my first round pick, which is probably going to be in the 103, 104 range, which is fine. But I ended up getting Bijan for that. So I'm comfortable. I have a trio of second round picks, so I can make some moves and acquire. I definitely need a third quarterback at some point. But yeah, Scott, it's been rough sledding with a team that I thought was going to be at least competing for a playoff spot.
Simp, what up, Simp? Had CD and my kicker Aubrey prop me up for the weekend. Yeah, I had that combo in a couple leagues. That was an awesome combo to have. Just need to decide which two in the flex full PPR if Dell plays. Yeah, you're definitely rolling with Dell. You've got only you can play two of these four guys: Ridley, Gibbs, Monty, Dell.
CD, just need to decide which two. My bad, I was looking up something.
Pretty good. Ridley, Gibbs, Monty, Dell. We got to pick two.
I feel like Simp asked us this earlier in the week. I think he asked us this on the Tuesday show.
Yeah, maybe.
If I'm not mistaken. If Dell plays, I mean, it's tough because we all know all four of these guys can have productive weeks and weeks that really, set your team ahead. That's the difficult part. Gibbs and Monty is basically a split. So you can't go wrong with either in my estimation. I would lean Monty because he's getting the goal line work. And I believe I said that on Tuesday during the show. So I would lean Monty if you're going to pick between Monty and Gibbs. Gibbs clearly has the upside, but Monty's getting the goal line work, which is extremely valuable in a good offense. So I would lean Monty, Ridley and Monty, Ridley and Dell. That's a tough one for me to split the difference. To be honest with you, I think Ridley is the safer option. Dell is the higher upside play with the Houston Texans. So give me if you held my feet to the fire, I'm gonna roll with Monty and Calvin Ridley. I gotta take a look at the matchups, but I'll roll with Ridley and Monty in this scenario.
Yeah,
So
I am.
Texans facing the Broncos
Yeah,
and the Jaguars. Who the
the
Jaguars? Oh, Jaguars
Lions.
playing the Bengals on Monday night.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Gibbs and Dell. I mean, full PPR. I'll take the pass catching upside with Gibbs, and I'll roll with Dell. Really, really close between Dell and Ridley though. And but yeah, I mean, if by any chance Dell doesn't play, then I'll just go Gibbs and Ridley, and sadly sit Monty. I mean, he does have the TD upside, of course, but Gibbs just has a little more upside in general. I just feel like, and with the PPR, I kind of feel like that makes up for some of the goal line work, unless Monty scores fucking 3-4 tutties or something like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's how I'll roll there. PB Dub said Cooper Cup was a mid-round pick that exceeded expectations. He's a squeezed lemon like AB and Mike Thomas. Yeah, I mean, it's that time. I mean, we talked about it earlier where sometimes you just need to realize that
Mm-hmm.
that time is up, or at least realize that it's possible. Like there's a good chance. I mean, if you want to take that chance, then so be it. But just be careful, like especially in Dynasty, like spending too much, or too many assets to go and get some of these really older guys because you think they're gonna smash. So Isaac said, I told you Verizon was bad.
Nah, bro. I had Verizon when I was at my old apartment, and I never really had an issue. So yeah, I mean, am I clear? Is everything clear? Do you hear
Yeah,
me?
you're fine. It was just that one. It was just that one blip. Just that one blip. You're good. Richard, what's up, Richard? Need a win, D Hop or Rashee Rice?
I think I'm taking Rashee Rice here.
Yeah, I'm taking Rice too. D Hop he's not been that good. I mean, you could pray for a tutty, but he's not gonna get the yardage. Not really gonna get the targets. I mean,
After
Go
that first
Rashi.
3 touchdown performance with Will Levis, hasn't been that good.
Oh, because now, like, Will Levis is being Will Levis. I mean, he had a great first game back, but, I mean, we knew to begin with, like, Will Levis was more of a project, like, he doesn't
Yeah.
process everything as fast as, you want him to. So, I mean, we've seen that, those things come to light. So, One Nation,
Mhm.
what up, One Nation?
Yeah.
What's good, bro? Michael, what's up, Michael? Evans, Dell, and Achane, I can only start 2.
Evans and Dell. Achane banged up again, and he's gotten hurt in his last couple of games. I listen, I know Achane's really good, especially when he's in the mix and he's right, but it doesn't seem like he's right now. So I'm not taking that risk of playing him, especially if you're in a win kind of situation where you need these wins. Because listen, if you're right in the mix, you need them, and you can't afford to have Achane play a quarter and go down. I'm going Evans and Dell here.
Depends how risky you wanna get. I mean,
That's
with
fair.
Achane, it's an awesome matchup. We know we don't know how many touches he's gonna get, right? We know he doesn't need many touches to be effective, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I mean,
He's
it's rough.
risky.
So, I mean, I do like Evans and Dell. I don't know if Dell's upside is as high as it was the few games that he really, like, went crazy, for the 100 over the 100 yards and stuff. Now against Denver, who's been playing some really good D. Um,
Tank
so,
Dell's
like, if you wanna
productive,
chase
man.
so if you wanna chase the Achane upside, like, I mean, I get it, but it's just too hard. It's almost just too hard to not play Dell. Like, he scores the last, what, 4 games, he scored 2, 3, 4, 5 tutties. I mean, he's hot. Eventually, obviously, that'll stop at some point, but they've got the Jets after next week, so, but yeah, I'm gonna go Dell, and I think I'll go Evans as well. I mean, these guys are tutty machines, so it's hard
In
to
this
not
situation,
play
it's
Achane,
hard.
but
Yeah.
in the situation, I think we'll go Evans and Dell, and hopefully, Achane doesn't, destroy us and go for, like, 50, but
Make us look like idiots.
well, he could. I mean, they're going against Washington. It's a possibility. It's a possibility that they are destroying, and then they take Mostert out and are just letting Achane get some work. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a possibility, but Kevin, what's up, Kevin? Puka Moss or Devonta Smith?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That is
Mm,
a fucking tough one. Kevin, why
that's
you doing this to us, bro?
I mean, Devonta's
Moss.
been pretty good lately, and Moss smashed against Tennessee the first time he played him.
Mm-hmm. With no
So,
JT.
mhm.
Who the Eagles
Might
got
just be
this week?
Moss on the volume. I mean, we know Devonta's a little bit hit or miss, so,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Moss
I think I'm
gave us, like, 150, I think, the last time they played. What'd he give him? I get 165 he gave Tennessee the first time they played him with 2 tutties.
it's between Puka and Moss for me. I think I'm leaning Moss here.
Yeah, I'm leaning Moss as well. Let's go with Moss, Kev. Isaac said Watson or Deontay, full PPR.
Ooh. Deontay's been just disappointing. That I know they have Matt Canada. I know. Matt Canada's gone. He's toast. But
Yeah, he's solid.
Deontay had 8 targets the last 2 games. 4 for 50. The Christian Watson thing, I sold Christian Watson in my home league. He was really, really upsetting. And of course, as soon as I trade him, he decides to have his best game of the season. No surprise there. Christian Watson clearly has the higher upside. So if you're going for an upside play, it's Christian Watson here because he can catch a bomb at any time. He's a big play threat. And it looks like they may have found something. Now they have a tough matchup against a really good Kansas City defense in Lambeau on Sunday night. So this is a tough one for me. If you're chasing some upside, Isaac, you can go Christian Watson. I don't know how many opportunities they'll have to get him the ball like we saw against Detroit, but Deontay clearly is the safer floor. Oh man,
Had a tutty last game.
he did. No, Christian Watson had a really good game. He
Oh,
opened the game with that big. Oh, he didn't.
Deontay, I was saying. I was saying he should have
Oh,
had a tutty. He
oh,
should
he
have had a
should have.
tutty. But yeah, Watson did have the tutty. So, but yeah, going against KC or Deontay against Arizona. I mean,
Yeah, give me Deontay here, but it makes me nervous because Christian Watson, like I said, could get loose at any time for a big play. But Deontay is going to provide the safer floor. Give me Deontay Johnson here.
yeah, I might go Christian Watson. Just because, like, I mean, 100% Deontay is a better floor. So if you want to just play it safe, yeah. But what's the chances this guy scores a tutty? I mean, Kenny Pickett ain't throwing tutties. Deontay's got one tutty the past 2 years. I mean, so like I just
Yes.
feel like all right, just give me Christian Watson. Like I know
On
they're
the
playing
upside.
against a good defense as KC, but
Yeah,
they're gonna have to be throwing the ball, I would guess.
I
So
feel you.
like, give me Watson on a fucking blown coverage or something. Who knows?
I feel it.
One Nation, full PPR need to flex two. Jalen Guyton,
Ooh.
Curtis Samuel, Hunt, Judy, Rondell, Moore, Zay Jones. We need two of these guys. Hunt, Judy, Rondell, Moore, Zay Jones, Curtis Samuel. I feel like Curtis Samuel stands out, especially after last game.
Yeah, I mean, we just they throw it around so much in Washington, right? Against Miami, if they're down by 24, they're gonna be slinging it around. So Curtis Samuel has to be a play here with the way Sam Howell's playing, and I could lean Rondell Moore, Kareem Hunt ish. I'm not really. It's
Rondell Moore's that's
I,
tough.
I I don't know where I'm leaning on the second one.
I think I'm
Judy?
going Guy. I think I'm going Guyton. I'm not
Mm,
going Judy. I just don't feel like there's enough upside there. I feel like Guyton
no, it's not.
could catch a bomb. I mean, we've got some guys that are hurt over there, right? I mean, Quentin Johnson ain't doing jack shit. It's just Keenan Allen, and he's even a little bit banged up. I mean, you could, I guess, make the argument for Hunt as well. I mean, with Flacco quarterbacking, I mean, he's a decent flex option. But I feel like the upside Guyton.
Yeah, this is clearly a tough one because a lot of these guys like Guyton didn't play well. Kareem Hunt has kind of tailed off since scoring all those touchdowns. And basically, if Kareem Hunt's not getting a touchdown, he's not scoring, right? So I
Going Guyton Samuel. That's what I'm rolling with.
yeah, give me Jesus. I'll lean that way as well, but it's really close between all these guys because none of them have been uber productive, honestly. And Jerry Judy, it should be Jerry Judy, but he's fucking disappointing. Like there's nothing there. It's all fucking Sutton.
Sim said luckily his opponent has Barkley, Jacobs, and Lamar on bye. That's good. There you go.
Nice.
Sam, what up, Sam? What's goody, man? PB Dub says he's playing Achan everywhere. I mean,
Can't be mad at that.
I would say to play Achan everywhere pretty much, but just those few. I mean, if there's guys that are really
Situations,
scoring
yeah.
points, it's hard to, at least for
Evans
me,
and
man.
Dell. That's a
But
tough one. Evans and Dell,
the
man. They're
matchup is
catching
just
touchdowns.
the matchup is so good. Like it's so good.
I hear it. I hear it. I just
It's so good. Birdman, what up, Birdman? What's goody,
Birdman
my
is the
man?
is the man.
Feels like Sertain gonna be on
Sertan.
Collins. Yeah, Sertan. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I like Dell.
Yeah,
I
Dell's
like Dell.
listen,
Sam
that
said he's
whole
playing
offense is
Achan.
playing that whole Houston offense is playing well. Even when CJ Stroud uncharacteristically turns the ball over, he's a gamer. Like, he just goes out there and just does what he does. And he even said it in his post-game press conference where he's like, I don't care if I make a few mistakes. I'm going to keep slinging it. Like, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
Diaz, what up, Diaz? Diaz in the building.
Uh-oh. Diaz about here to make some trouble.
Isaac said he had Watson in all week and switched it before the show. Who'd you switch? Watson for what? Was that the oh, that was the Watson Deontay, yeah. I'm a roll with Watson. I'm gonna roll with Watson, but you know, like Hammer said, Deontay is a pretty safe, I guess you can say. So Luca, what up, Luca? Lost Aaron Jones and Walker, half PPR start one.
Damn.
Fryermuth or Noah Brown?
If you would have had Charbonnet, that would have been a nice handcuff to have to plug Charbonnet in. He had a nice game. He had the tutty, and I think he racked up like 16.5 in PPR. Man, Fryermuth is coming off a big game with Tangdell and Noah Collins in. No Schultz, so does that open up Noah Brown a little bit? It's hard to start. Obviously, this looks like a flex play with Fryermuth and Noah Brown. I'd take Fryermuth, man, because it looks like if Nico Collins or Tank Dell were out, I'd lean Noah Brown because we've seen what he's done in those absences. I'll go with Fryermuth here. It seems like they've unlocked him a little bit, you know, when Matt Canada got the boot. So yeah, give me Fryermuth here.
AB Gronk. I'm going with Fryermuth as well. Noah Brown. Yeah, I mean, unless there's an injury to one of those top two guys, it's tough to rely on what Noah Brown's gonna do. So go Fryermuth. Spencer Guru. What up, Spence? What's goody, my man? Kyle, what up, Kyle? Full PPR flex. Watson, London, or pick up Dortch or Curtis Samuel.
I think if you have Watson in London, you don't really need Dortch or Samuel. Samuel's, like you said, is an interesting pick with the way Sam Howell's playing. But if you have Watson or London, I think that's enough. Where you don't have to drop anybody. I'd go
In
Christian
London.
Watson here.
Good.
Yeah, I go Christian Watson here because I don't trust that Atlanta passing offense. It's too inconsistent. It looks like the Packers have found something. Now they do have the tough matchup, and we're going to refer to that, you know, as we go along in the show and into tomorrow. But give me Christian Watson on the upside play with them. Actually, the Packers actually playing pretty well from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go with London this week when they're playing the Jets. So I think that just makes you more just play Watson. I mean, I don't think you need to get cute with a Dortch or a Samuel. I mean, could those guys produce better than the other two? Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's just getting too cute. Like I just play Watson. Goff or Stroud, Lucas said.
Give me Stroud here.
It's gotta be Stroud. It's gotta be
Against
Stroud.
Denver, home against Denver, Goff on the road against the Saints. Yeah, I'm taking Stroud.
I mean, Goff is good, you know, but
He's not Stroud.
not like yeah. Yeah. Watson gets a lot of end zone targets, yeah.
He does. He does.
Standard league need a wide receiver and a flex. Evans, Ridley, Mostert, Ford.
Ooh. I think the receiver has got to be Evans.
Mm-hmm.
I think the flex has got to be Mostert, no?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Has to be. I mean, Ridley and Ford are good plays too, but the upside with Mostert and that offense against the Commanders, yeah. Judy is a tier 3 wide receiver.
He's
If
probably worse
even
than
that,
that.
like, I mean,
He's probably worse than that. It's so sad, man.
he is
And
worse than
Denver
that. Where's he at?
and Russell Wilson hasn't played terrible this season. That's the fucked up part is that all of the touchdowns, all the,
Yeah.
you know, the significant work is going to Cortland Sutton.
Wide
And it was
receiver, 55.
Mims earlier in the season. Mims was getting the deep bombs earlier in the season.
55. Yeah, Judy, wide receiver 55. So wide
No, thank
receiver
you.
5.
I traded Judy.
Young offense, they got great chemistry. Yep.
Oh yeah,
You right,
Texans are
Birdman.
doing work.
You right.
So I wanted to bring up something interesting to your attention. I was actually going to text you earlier today, but I was doing a couple things. I had some work to do. I watched the Michael K show. It's a local ESPN New York sports radio show. And they do this thing where they make their NFL pro picks on Friday nights. We could do it Saturday here before the games. And they do it where they have a 1 point play, a 2 point play, and a 3 point play, and they go against the spread. So you make 3 picks against the spread for a 3 point play. Obviously, that's the one you have the most confidence in. I want to
Spread.
do something. I want to do something like that so we could kind of keep tabs on some of these games that we like. Like I
Let's
want
just go.
something that
Well, let's just go win or loss then. I'm not a spread type of dude, you know. So pause. Give me the
clip 'em. Clip that bad boy. Let's go. I'm not a
but
spread kind of dude. I hope not.
yeah, so mm, I'd rather just do win loss. We could do that. We could do that.
But you got to have the stones to go against the spread, Chief.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Steve Smith said that live. He was talking in real life football. Yeah, I know. I remember that. I remember that. That was a big thing. And then Judy was being a little bitch about it afterwards.
That was
Like, bro,
funny.
you haven't done shit. Like, come on. We've been waiting for Jerry Judy to break out for how long? I mean, it's done. It's a wrap.
You think
It's
so?
basically
He
it's
should have got
basically
traded at
it's
the
basically a bust. I mean, could he somehow
why
turn into wide receiver 2 form or something like that if he ever goes somewhere else? I mean, yeah, wide receiver 2 at best, maybe wide receiver 3, right? I mean, it's tough.
he's clearly not that dude.
He's not. That's why I'm done with him. Like I'm not trying to make that bet.
Yeah,
And
I
it's too
traded
late.
really
It's too late to get off of him now. Like if you have him, you have to hold him. Like there's nothing you can do.
for show.
You know. Tingley, what up, Tingley? Shout out to both y'all. Pacheco was the play over Puka last week. Oh yeah. Asked Stevie this yesterday, so wanted to see what Hammer thought. In one flex spot, full PPR, we started Moss, Pacheco, or Achan.
Shout out to you, Tingley, because you really are the one of the few people on this show. I shouldn't say few, but you appreciate my insight because you ask Steve questions on Friday and then you come back and shout me out specifically because you want my insight. Tingley, I appreciate you, bro. I really do. So I just want to make that known. Now, getting back to the question. Moss, Pacheco, Achan. The Packers get run on. Like they really do. So, the Packers made Najee Harris look like Walter Payton. How does that happen? So, Moss has a really good matchup against a team that he gashed, as we alluded to the last time they played the Titans. And then Achan has the upside. Achan scares me because of the injury history, and he hasn't really played in essentially a month and a half. So it's between Moss and Pacheco. I'll probably lean Zach Moss here, but Pacheco is a really, really interesting play because the Packers do give up a lot on the ground. And Kansas City hasn't really been that prolific passing team that we've seen, in the last 5 years or so. So it's between Moss and Pacheco. I'll lean Moss here, but I would understand if you wanted to roll with Pacheco against a vulnerable Green Bay defense on the ground.
Yeah. I think I went with Moss as well. I mean, Pacheco, I said, is very interesting. He's pretty safe, but he's not gonna run for, he's not gonna run for 100 yard. I mean, he had 100-yard game all season. He did have 2 tutties last week, but
He
I
gets
mean,
the
Mahomes is
touchdowns.
throwing the ball a lot down there as well. So, does he continue to get some tutties here? I just felt like Moss, similar to Pacheco ish. So you can kind of go either way there. And then Achan, I mean, like you said, highest upside, but how much are we gonna get out of him? And I just feel like with the work that Moss is gonna get, or that he should get, or at least that we hope he gets, right? Um, You just feel like the amount of work he's gonna get is gonna be close enough to what Achane could do, I guess. I mean, I just feel
Yeah.
like he's a little bit safer. Obviously, Achane could go off for fucking 50, 60. Who the fuck knows? But
Listen to
just
this.
that
How
that's the chance
crazy
that's the chance that, that you wanna take. So do you go for the upside or do you just go for the little bit, a little bit safer?
listen to this. This A-Chan stat is just absurd, honestly. He's played 3 productive games this season. 3. We're in week 12, people. He's played 3 productive games. He's RB 30. He's only played 3 productive games, and he's still
Mhm.
RB 30. So that tells you the upside, but, he had the 3 crazy games, missed the next 4. They had the bye, came back against Vegas. He got hurt. So it's, you're kind of flirting with danger if you play him. I know how awesome he is when he plays, but in this scenario, Moss and Pacheco are the way more established guys. We know exactly the workload they're going to get, even more so Zach Moss with JT out. So, like I said, for this one, Tingley, I'm leaning Zach Moss, but I can understand the Pacheco touchdown upside, especially against my Packers.
To be fair, we were on Pacheco. I mean, we're on Pacheco. We were on Achan, what was it, 2 weeks ago when they played um Vegas, but then he got hurt after one fucking carry. So
That's the risk.
everybody got burned on that, and a lot of people lost fantasy matchups. So this is the go hard or go home part. Like if you are on the cusp of making the playoffs, like then fuck it. Yeah, we need to go for the gusto. Play HN. Like I mean, I got no problem with it, but just in general, I think I'm gonna roll Moss. But yeah, I think that your situation could kind of determine whether you want to go for that or not. So.
I would agree. Man, Pacheco's
I mean,
been really good,
what do
man.
you guys think? I mean, how do you guys feel about Achan? I mean, in Dynasty, he's kind of a huge sell just because of the value that he is, not necessarily because of the player or, I don't like him or don't believe in him. I don't think he'll ever be the workhorse guy, and I just like taking advantage of running backs. I like to build elsewhere and move that asset, that value to a different position, you know? So,
Yeah, I could
my
feel that.
best dynasty team, I'm 10-2, and I'm destroying the league. My running backs are Jerome Ford and Zach Moss and Kyron Williams and Algier and AJ Dillon, and I'm able to still win because I'm just destroying at all the other positions. Like I had Brees Hall at one point, I had Kenny Walker, and I traded those guys for quarterbacks for wide receivers, and I built up the squad. But yeah, what do you
That's
guys
what you
think
want to
about
do. You want to take
Achane?
advantage. You want to take advantage of those young stud running backs that you can get value for that we've seen, right? Have crazy upside. Achan has crazy upside, but he also has, that injury risk. And moreover, you touched on the thing that scares me the most is he comes back, he plays a quarter and gets hurt and gives you 1.5 points like that. And especially in a big game, in a pivotal game this late in the fantasy season, that's a killer, man. Like if you are 5-6 or 6-5 and you're trying to fend off the last playoff spot, you need those games. And if you slotted Achan in your RB2 position, you kind of needed him to have a really nice game, and he didn't. So that's the thing that scares me, especially in this particular scenario with Tingley, is that I know Moss and Pacheco are going to be solid, if not great, right?
Yeah,
Pacheco
exactly.
Pacheco scores touchdowns. We've seen what Moss can do, especially when he's given a full workload. So that's kind of where I'm leaning with that. So I'd lean Moss, but I could see Pacheco having a really nice game.
Mhm. Isaac, you're thinking after that it would've went off. Nope. Nah, Judy, no, unfortunately, no. Crispy in the building. What up, Crispy?
There he is.
Crispy, we've got a battle in, I think, Wafers number 7 league right now. We're both 6-6, fighting for the playoffs. Well, I'm in 5th and he's in 6th. So right now we're both in, but there's a team that's also 6-6 in the 7th slot. So it's a big game this week, and he had CeeDee Lamb go absolutely ham on me,
Woo!
and
CD Lamb had a massive
He
game.
had Brandon Cooks.
With
do
a
his
nice
thing and
game.
score a tutty.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, he had Geno Smith on the bench. He played Mayfield instead. But to be fair, Geno's been trash, so it's I can't
Yeah.
I can't
Against the
complain
Dallas
about sitting him
defense. Yeah.
against Dallas defense. So can't complain about that. Luckily, I have DK Metcalf on my team, so I was able to
Ooh,
sustain
yeah.
the CeeDee Lamb
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Brandon Cook.
production. But it's we're neck and neck. It's gonna be a close one. So definitely gonna be close. Mm. Crispy said HN needs to sit his ass down. Marty in the building. What up?
Marty.
What's good, Marty?
What up, Marty? I need you to lose, Marty, in the sub league.
To yours truly. How y'all feel about Hopkins this week? I mean, you have to pray for a tutty. I mean, he
Yeah,
hasn't been good. What's your options though?
that's true.
I feel a big game. So it's always a possibility, but
Listen, he's still wide receiver 30, which I think is right in the range where he pretty much is. The target, he's got 10 targets over the last 2 games. He does have a touchdown a couple of weeks ago against Jacksonville, but there's just not enough volume for him to move the needle, the way you really need it to be moved. So most of that damage got done in virtually 2 games. He had a 140-yard game against Indianapolis, and then he had that 128-yard 3-touchdown game a couple of weeks ago against Atlanta. So the bulk of his damage has been virtually done in 2 games. So I don't really see DeAndre Hopkins being a crazy factor. He's on the wide receiver 4 radar for me.
Diaz, Mostert, Gibbs, Ford, Chase, Puka, Holly, and 2 flex. If Olave is out, it will be 3 flex. So what then? PPR. All right. So 2 running backs and 2 flex. I guess we'll start with the running backs. We got Mostert, we got Gibbs, we've got Ford to choose from. So 2 of those
It's
3.
it's the first 2. It's Mostert and Gibbs.
Yeah, I'm with that as well. I like that. I like Mostert and Gibbs there. So now we've got to pick 2 flexes between Ford, Chase, Puka, and Hollywood.
I'm still playing Jamar Chase. He had a really good game with Jake Browning. It could have been an even bigger game if you watch that game. So I'm still playing Jamar Chase. He still has a pretty solid floor to me. I think he had 4 catches on, was it 8
Well,
targets maybe?
to be fair, he did have 2 catches that were tipped, and it was kind of like lucky catches, but
I'm still playing Jamar Chase. Are you not?
yeah, I think so.
Okay. It was only 6 targets, which is a little concerning.
Yeah.
So that
I mean,
that that definitely worries me.
Hollywood got a ton of targets, but he's a little bit banged up. Who do they got? They got the Steelers. Or do we roll with Puka? Cup, I guess, a little bit banged up ish, but
I'm gonna go Chase and Hollywood here as my flexes if Olave's out. If Olave's playing, then it's Chase and Olave. Now, what's the timing
no,
situation?
no.
Because
Olave is if Olave doesn't play, yeah, if Olave doesn't play, we got to add one more.
then it's Olave. No, oh yeah, I got you. Okay, I got it. So if Olave doesn't play, it's between Ford and Puka for me.
Mhm.
I'll go Ford.
But I think where's Hollywood at? Mm, mm, mm. They got the steal. Think I'll go chasing Hollywood as well, and then I'll go Ford if Olave's out. Yeah, we'll sit Puka. We'll sit Puka. Kirk Downs or Puka? Downs burned us last week.
He did. Down that we took the L on Downs. No doubt about it. You going back to that well? Colts at Tennessee. Christian Kirk home against the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going down that well. Fuck it. I'm gonna die on the hill. I'm going with Downs again. I mean, against Tennessee. Not a great pass defense. Give me fuck it. Go with Downs.
Christian Kirk is still interesting
I
to
know.
me.
I know. He's safe. He's safe.
I think I'm going Christian Kirk here. Josh Downs scared he burned the crap out of me. Christian Kirk is still giving you a solid production with a good floor. I'm gonna go Christian Kirk here, man, against the Cincinnati team that's kind of reeling right now. Jaguars get them at home.
13 targets. Josh Down 13 targets.
I hear it.
So he might have burned us points wise, but I mean the thought process and the targets. I mean it's there. He just didn't do what he needed to
I hear
do
it. I
with
hear
the
it.
targets. So yeah, I'm still rolling with Downs. I'll take that all day. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'll go Kirk here, but I can understand the Downs playing. Listen, we love Downs. I
Go
think
Kirk.
he's fantastic. You know, we were on Downs all last week. We've been on Downs pretty much since he's burst onto the scene and taken over that wide receiver 2 spot. So I love me some Downs, I really do, but I think I need a little more of a safer floor here. I'll go with Christian Kirk.
Feel Kirk, and he kind of is a decently safe floor. I just feel like his upside ain't as much. I
Is
mean,
limited. I agree.
yeah, yeah.
I agree.
Frank, what's cracking? Frank watching Michigan smacking Iowa on the road to the ship. There you go. I've started
Yeah,
Mostert
Michigan's kicking
everywhere
ass
since
now.
week 1. He's RB2. I'm sticking with him. I don't care. H-ham back. No, for sure. I mean, Mostert is a guy you just plug in every week and you just live with the results. I mean, he's not a guy
Yeah,
that you drafted particularly high, right?
the
You got him
value is
way
there.
late.
Yep.
So he's a guy that you went probably 0 RB with, or maybe you got some injuries RB and you're able to plug him in. You just plug him in and play him every week and don't worry. Like we've been telling everybody to do with fucking Jake Ferguson and Cole Kmet all fucking season. Just plug him in and just play him every week and just don't fucking worry about anything else. Stop trying to pick the perfect tight end every week. We've been telling you since the week 1, Jake Ferguson and Cole Kmet.
Sam Laporta as well.
Well, yeah, Sam Laporta as well, but people had questions about these other guys, and I mean they're
That's fair.
smashing right now, right? What's Ferguson doing right now?
He's doing work. He caught another touchdown
Tight
on
end 7,
Thursday.
tight
Yeah,
end 7. Cole Kmet,
he's been
tight end
awesome.
6. I mean, what more? What more do you want? What more do you want? I mean, just
Uh,
crazy cheap guys that are top 10, top 8 tight ends, like.
yep.
RB2, yeah, PPR. Downs and Hopkins. Downs.
Yeah, it's definitely Downs here for sure.
Downs. Yeah, he's of course a must start, Marty, for sure. Love me some Mostert with tutties.
we
Just
picked we picked Mostert in pretty much every situation since virtually week 1.
since the beginning.
So
Yeah, yeah,
we kind of
yeah.
recognize.
Yep. Look how cheap he was. Meanwhile, people are out there spending 2 firsts for fucking Achane and JT and Brees,
Yep.
and you've
Yep.
got these guys that cost you nothing that's winning
And
you leagues right
Walker.
now. I like Downs, but I don't like using him on more than one team. I mean, listen, you play the best available. I mean, if Downs is the best option, then he's the best option. I mean, unless you've got another really close option and you just want to hedge your bets on it, then fine. But
Yeah,
what's the other
I agree.
option that you have that you can play, instead of Downs on that other squad? Let me pull up. Let's see. What other tight ends are now that you got me on this fucking tight end kick right now? Joku, crazy late, tight end 10. I mean,
Yeah.
Everybody wants to try and have, like, the top tight ends. I mean, if it's not the Kelce's and the Hawkinsons
Mark
and the
Andrews before he got
Andrews,
hurt. Uh-huh.
like, that's it. It's Jake Ferguson, it's Cole Kmet, it's Joku. Hall, Monty, or Robinson. It's not Hall, I'll tell you that.
No, it's not. It's between Monty and Bijan. Give me Bijan here.
Or is it Brian Robinson?
Then it's
Maybe it's Brian
definitely
Robinson.
well, that's true. It might be Brian Robinson. If that's the case, then it's
Mhm.
Monty.
Might be Monty. I mean, I don't love the matchup for Brian Robinson, right? If they're down to the Dolphins, they're gonna be passing the football, and he has been involved in the pass game, like, don't get me wrong, but if Gibby's healthy and playing, like, he's a little bit more limited in the pass game because Gibby's getting on the field more and taking away those opportunities, so I probably would go Monty if it's B-Rob for this particular week going against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I like Monty as well.
Yeah. McBride or Joku, Marty said. McBride's been McBride's been awesome. I mean, Joku's been good, but now he's a new QB.
I think I'm
He's had
rolling McBride
6
here.
targets. He's had 6 targets. You've got Joku against the Rams and McBride against Pittsburgh with a little bit banged up Hollywood, no Michael Wilson. Yeah, might be McBride here too. Yeah, I think I like McBride. Let's go with McBride. It's close though. Yeah, Brian, sorry about that. Yeah, Brian Robinson. So,
Yeah, we'll go
I
Monty.
mean, and it's hard to not play Brian Robinson. I know that might sound crazy because he's like RB what 4 or 5. Like, I mean, it'd be 5 right now. Like, how could you not play him? I mean, he hasn't had a
Is he
100-yard game
really?
all season.
Damn.
Yeah, he hasn't had a 100-yard game all season, but he's got some tutties, and he's been pretty involved in the pass game. Obviously, when Gibby was out. So, but
Getting a
look what happened last
touchdown.
game against Dallas. I mean, 15 for 53, not crazy efficient. He was never that good on the ground in general. And then you had Gibby taking the pass catching work and the third down, so he only had 8.4 fantasy points last week. So
Yeah. Good point. I mean, listen, but he's still very heavily involved. Only a
sure.
45% snap share, but that was obviously due to the blowout. Before that, his snap percentage hovers, man. Like he's right around 50%.
I'm saying.
That's tough, man.
Especially when the game's not in his favor, where I mean, is Monty not gonna get 15 totes just like Brian Robinson is? Who do
Mm-hmm.
you think has a better chance of scoring a tutty, Monty or B-Rob?
Oh, Monty. And Monty's getting the goal line work. Yep.
Exactly. But is it
Yep.
not something that Brian Robinson is RB5 on the season and we're going with, Monty instead?
That's fair. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that because he's had really two standout games, right? He had the game against Denver where he went nuts. He had the 2 touchdowns, and then he had the game against Seattle where he had over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. But outside of that, it's been pretty average, right? 13.7, 12, 6, 12, 8, 8, 11, 17, a decent game against the Giants, and then 7.5. So it's not like he's a difference maker on a per week basis. And Monty is could be a difference maker, on a per week basis, just more consistent too. Monty's been damn good since he returned.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Marty said, "Holy shit, Brian Robinson RB5."
I didn't
Yeah, I
realize that
know
either.
it sounds crazy, but to be fair, he hasn't missed a game all season, right?
That's
I mean,
true.
we've had
That's
guys
very
that
true.
have missed a game or two, have been hurt a little bit coming out, and he's just getting he's getting the workload, he's getting carries, every single game, he's getting a catch or two every
Mhm.
single game. He's just consistently giving
That's
you
a
a
good
a
point.
a good amount of fantasy points, that's all,
That's a good
you know?
point.
So he's not killing it. He's not great. The metrics aren't great. I mean, he's not killing it on the ground. He's not averaging, 5, 6 yards a carry or anything like that. He's just getting the work, and he's valuable in a position that has been hard to come by this year. I mean, there's been
Steadily.
a ton of
Yep.
injuries, so that's why he's somehow
He's played
RB5.
every game.
Not
He's played every game.
exactly,
That's why he's RB5. Let's put it that way. He's played every
and he
game.
hasn't
That's
had
why.
his bye week either, to be fair too.
True.
So
True.
Javonte or Brian Robinson. I'm going with Javonte. I like the matchup with Javonte.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think I'll go with Javonte there as well. Again, and look, we like Brian Robinson. It's just not the best week to play him in certain situations where you have some other options. That's all. I like him against the Rams when they come back after the bye. I don't love him against the Jets, or San Fran after that, or Dallas after that. But yeah, no missed weeks
Joe.
helps, exactly. Most mid RB5 ever. I've always said, like, B-Rob, he's good, he's just not, like, great. Like, I feel like Gibby is just a better overall athlete, like, in general, but obviously he can't hold on to the football, so
That's
they
the
can't
key.
let him rush the football anymore. He was a receiver anyway coming out of college, but they still should be
Mm-hmm.
able to use him a little bit more, I feel like. I actually like Gibby as a good buy low in Dynasty, like, for next season where he's a free agent. He could find himself like a decent, RB2-ish type role somewhere, as a pass catcher somewhere. So
Are you only saying that because Gibby was on your supernova?
no, I mean he fucked up Supernova this year. He failed. That motherfucker didn't supernova nothing.
No,
He
he
fuck
didn't.
he that star fizzled out. So that's done with. I'm talking about like next year, just as in he hasn't done jack this year. He's incredibly cheap. He's going to cost you barely anything. A third round pick maybe, or even a fourth, a throw in a trade. I mean, any way that
Mhm.
you can try and get him just to take a chance on him that maybe his value increases, or you just want those RB2s, right? We see now how the league is. There's just a ton of running backs in all these offenses now. Everybody's getting touches. It's different. There's literally like a handful of guys that get the majority of the work. Everybody else is just some kind of RB2, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so could he be valuable somewhere else next year and just you plug him into your RB2 slot, he gives you solid production. So, I don't like spending on running backs. Give me all these cheap guys that nobody likes. You know, who's going to be the next year's like, because next year, same shit's going to happen, right? There's going to be another Zach Moss next year, right? There's going to be
Yep.
another Kyron next year, right? These, there's just going to be different guys, but it's always like that.
For sure.
Yes, Gibby's a black hole. Yeah, Gibby is in the black hole right now, bro.
Throw Jerry Judy in there as well.
You could throw Jerry Judy in there as well. So we've got, we some black holes
You
are
know what?
getting to
Sky Moore leads that black hole 6. Let's put Sky Moore
yeah,
on there
yeah,
too.
he does too. He does too. Those are the misses. We gotta live with those too. But
No, I'm not living.
luckily
I said no
luckily
Sky
a lot
Moore.
yeah, but the price that you paid either to get him or where you drafted him was relatively worth like the gamble. It wasn't like you're spending up to go get a guy like that. So, but yeah, a loss is a loss. We take the L's on it. I'll take the L's on it. It's all good. Moss
I
over
thought Jerry
Bryant
Judy was
too.
going to bounce back.
For
I
sure,
take the
for
L on
sure, we're
Judy.
playing
Go
Moss
ahead.
over him. Oh, my bad. I said, no,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
playing Moss
Moss.
over Brian for sure, yeah. Moss gonna get to work like El Chapo. Yeah, I'm starting Moss
Mhm.
everywhere I got him to. I needed a running back in one of my leagues, and finally, when JT got hurt again, I was like, "Fuck yes!" Like going now, playoff push into the playoffs like that. It's big.
I actually picked up Zach Moss from
Scared of the rest
Diaz,
of
I
this.
think, for Jerome Ford. I think I traded Zach Moss away again. Yeah, I think I traded Zach Moss away again for a second round pick.
They ruined Gibby. Yep, in real life or fantasy. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I liked Gibby. I mean, listen, he came in and he was what, like a high-end RB2, back-end
Mm-hmm.
RB1 for 2 seasons in a row, basically. I
Yes, he
mean, yeah,
was.
RB12, RB13. the first 2 years in, and then he was supposed to get, like, the workload that next year, and it didn't fucking happen, and it's
And then
just
he
been
started
downhill.
fumbling.
Then he started
Mhm.
fumbling, and it's been downhill from there, so but he could be a valuable pass catching guy somewhere else, so that's just why I like him, 'cause he's gonna wind up going somewhere. That list is like Deshaun Watson and super yeah. Deshaun Watson too. I mean, we've got some injuries. We've had a bunch of shit happen, man. Who we're the most wrong on? That Sky, like we just talked about, Sky Moore, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, Deshaun Watson got injured, but um, who else was I big on? I mean,
I like
I
Najee,
put
and Najee
together. I
hasn't been terrible,
Yeah,
but
like
he
I
hasn't
put
been
together a
great.
list of guys, like some of them were could have been obvious dudes, and then some were just just a little bit cheaper guys to take chances on that I thought could have a good season, and they didn't. But I mean, highly invested guys, I mean, didn't really miss on a lot. Like, I didn't like George Pickens. I didn't like Christian Watson. I didn't like Tony Pollard. Those wound up turning out. Who else hasn't done great that I thought would? I hated Debo. I mean, we miss all the time. There's misses every week. There's misses every season. But the thing in Dynasty, especially, I mean, I guess you could say it goes into redraft too. But is taking those chances early, where it's not costing you that much to be wrong. Like, take the chances you want. Take some chances on the guys that you like, but don't spend up on them and be wrong about it. Like, that you take the chances early when they don't cost as much. And
I think
we'll put out some stash videos for Dynasty after the season. I've got a list of guys that I really like for stashing, but go ahead.
I think you said something that's really key there is the value relative to the player, right? Because some of these players
Exactly.
we're talking about, like, you're going to have to pay up on them, right? But some of these guys you're talking like Deshaun Watson, right? Now, he was a little bit of a value because he was injured. He didn't play for a long time. Not that he was injured, but he didn't play for a long time. There was some uncertainty about what, when he came back last year, et cetera. So I think it's all, like you said, relative to the value. If you had to spend up for a Deshaun Watson, it's probably biting you in the ass right now as your super flex quarterback, right? So, but
Mhm.
you really probably didn't have to buy crazy for Sky Moore. You probably didn't really have to buy crazy. Jerry Jeudy was kind of like a mid-ish guy that we thought had some upside with Russell Wilson bouncing back, Sean Payton. So I think the key there is exactly what you said, is the value relative to the player. If you don't if you don't spend a ton, then how much are you really losing?
Elijah Moore, I guess you could say it was another one, but another one where, like, it didn't cost you to get. You weren't drafting him early. He was a late round guy, so didn't really hurt. It doesn't really hurt to miss on that. Who else? Michael Pittman. I didn't believe in Michael Pittman. I admitted that early
We
on
were
in the
off Pittman.
season.
Yeah.
We were off on Pittman, and he wound up doing his thing. Ridley, I guess, is like hit or miss, but he's not doing what at least I thought that he would be doing,
Consistently anyway.
should
Yeah.
be doing consistently. So those are some other guys. Those are some other guys as well. Cameron, what's up, Cameron? Frymouth or Taysom?
Baby Gronk, baby, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we're running down this hill train here. Mm.
Taysom Hill's cooled off since that explosion.
I mean, if Olave winds up not playing, like, I think Taysom's very interesting. So I think I'd go with Taysom if Olave doesn't play. I'm not sure what time is that game. Is that a later game or?
Hold on. Not that, I think that the Saints game is a 1 o'clock game. Steelers 1 o'clock as well. So you can make that choice, at
Yeah, I
around
think that's what I
12:30.
think about. That's what I think about doing there. Really on the black. Yeah, I mean,
It's
yeah,
tough.
it's close. It's close. You could make the argument. I'll take the L on it if you want to give me that. Mine was T-Law. Could have waited. Yeah, I
That's a
mean, a
good
lot of
one.
people lost on T-Law. I don't think I have any shares of T-Law, but
I have
Diaz,
one
yeah,
in
heavy on
redraft.
Moss. Diaz was on Moss early in the season. We'll give him that. I remember that for sure. Yep. then sold to upgrade before JT come back. Ridley so boom or bust. I know. I mean, the good thing with Ridley is he still is winning on routes. Like, he's still a good route runner. It's just been unfortunate, the whole offense and everything that's happened so far this year. So I still do have some faith in Ridley. And yeah, Diaz is right. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave did not reach the levels that we thought they were going to reach. Absolutely,
To
100%.
be fair, Diaz, on the Garrett Wilson thing, that's clearly tied to the Aaron Rodgers
True,
injury.
true.
And to touch on Chris Olave really quick, go look at Chris Olave's first 3 games before Derek Carr had the shoulder injury. Chris Olave was having a hell of a season. So I don't think these guys reach what we thought they would consistently. Like, they've been really good in spurts. And I think the lack of consistency, Garrett Wilson, you can obviously, say we know Garrett Wilson's amazing. It's just the quarterback situation went to shit after 4 plays for him. So Garrett Wilson gets a mulligan in my estimation. Chris Olave is a little bit different because even when Derek Carr did come back, it was still kind of hit and miss, right? There was that one game where Derek Carr played the first half before he got hurt. Chris Olave was shut out until Jameis Winston came in the game for the second half. And then Chris Olave basically had a full game and a half with Jameis Winston. So I'm a little more disappointed in Olave because his quarterbacks have been there for the most part. Garrett Wilson gets a mulligan with the Aaron Rodgers injury.
Sure. Ari, what's up, Ari? Tank, Smith, or Pittman? Pick 2 full PPR.
Tank Dell, Devonta Smith, or Michael Pittman? That's a tough one. Because Devonta Smith can have a game at any point. But I think I'm going Tank Dell and Michael Pittman here.
Oh, I'm doing the same thing. I mean, I'm with you. I like Smith as well, but Pittman's been awesome. I mean, we got to play Pittman, I think. We got to play Dell. So let's do that. All right, appreciate you. I was high on Sutton being the MT of his team. Yep, was buying Nico everywhere. I was wrong on Pittman. Yeah, I feel that. DS. I didn't really like Sutton this year. Michael Thomas, we absolutely hated him. But yeah, Nico was on one of my stash videos after the season last year. I like Nico.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nico coming in. We should call it Gabe Davis Award, which is paying up for the hype only to get a shit show. Yeah, yeah. Miles Sanders did bust. We didn't like Miles Sanders at
Oh my
all.
God, Miles Sanders was awful, dude.
We didn't we didn't
Awful.
we didn't like him at all. I mean, because even in that offense he was last year. I mean, he was still what? Was he still RB2?
Miles
And he
Sanders was
had
productive last year.
Yeah, for sure. He was RB15, so still a RB2, and he had double-digit touchdowns. Then he goes to a team that is just not gonna be a good offense. We knew they weren't gonna be great on offense. Rookie
And
quarterback.
Chuba Hubbard takes him over.
Yep. Yeah, he got the deal, but then Chuba Hubbard takes over. I mean,
What?
you
That's
know,
crazy.
drafting Sanders as a top 10. Oh, fuck, Marty.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's tough. I know he was a beast with the Eagles on that great offensive line. I mean, but even then,
Mhm.
like, it was weird. There were times where, like, they really needed it, like, they didn't put him in. Like, how many
Let me say
times, like,
this.
they were not using him? Like, it was weird as fuck.
Let me say this. The Super Bowl, and I said this before on a different show, the Super Bowl should have been the indicator that the Miles Sanders downfall was happening because Miles Sanders, I believe he played the first series in that Super Bowl against Kansas City, and then it was all Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott after that. Like, I was like, what the? Because I had a parlay on the Super Bowl with Miles Sanders in it because Miles Sanders killed it last year for the Eagles for the most part, right? He was damn
Mhm.
consistent, got the touchdowns, got the work, etc. And then after like that first series against the Chiefs, Miles Sanders disappeared. He was gone, nowhere to be found. So yeah, it's pretty bad.
Was low on Drake London. Yeah, I thought he might take that step to that wide receiver 2,
He's had some
at
flashes,
least that
but
wide receiver 2 status, and he has had flashes. Like, I think everybody kinda sees the talent now and understands it, but obviously the situation is not great sitting at wide receiver, 42 right now? I mean, quarterback issues, not a great matchup this game against the Jets, so he's for sure been, disappointing, definitely. Frank said Taysom. Is it interesting the scheme for Ridley? Yep, seems to be having that X. I will push Ridley to the Z. It's clear Kirk is the flex of that offense. Yeah, I mean, when Zay Jones
Kirk's
has
been the
been
more
playing,
consistent one.
we've seen that Ridley has played really well. Freddie, what up, Freddie? Connors or Singletary, Puka or Kirk?
Ooh. Man, Singletary, let's see what Singletary. Damian Pierce was back. I know you were off Singletary last week because Damian Pierce was back. Singletary still had a solid
That's
game
decent.
in the
Yeah,
receiving department.
he was involved in the pass game out of nowhere. That's never happened, at least this year.
No, no, bro. His pass game has been nothing, and then all of a sudden he gets 6 catches on 7 targets. So I do like James Conner. I know he's going to get the volume. I know you don't like him very much in general, but I like James Conner's volume. It's tough sledding against the Rams. Against Pittsburgh, it's going to be tough. He does get some work in the passing game. Did have 5 targets, only 5 yards, which is not very good. But give me James Conner here. He seems to have a nose for the end zone for the most part throughout the course of his career. I think he'll get some solid, consistent play. Give me James Conner here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Connor as well, but that's really close. That's really,
It's
really close.
incredibly
And
close.
then
Yeah.
we've got Puka or Kirk.
Ooh. Puka's been okay, but he's not the Puka from the first 4 weeks. And that's something we have to realize as well. He's not that guy. He's basically a wide receiver high end 2.
Mhm. And he's going against Cleveland, so
And he is going against
if that
Cleveland.
matters. Yep.
It does matter for this particular
Yeah, it
situation because
does.
Christian Kirk has been pretty solid. Yeah, give me Christian Kirk here.
Yeah, I'll take Kirk as well. Good one. So let's go. Yeah, let's go Connor and Kirk there. Would you keep Dallas D with that difficult schedule? I mean, we've talked a little bit Dallas D. I don't know if it was yesterday or one of the last streams, but they don't have a great schedule coming up defensively, but it's one of those where it's like you don't have to get cute. Like they've played good even against good teams, but depends what's out there. I mean, if you want to just play the streaming game, then do that. Just play the best defense that you think can
Mhm.
go out there. So, I mean,
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
do we think Bland is going to continue to run Intos back for tutties? I mean, probably not. I mean, we just saw him get ginsued by fucking DK. I
And
mean,
Gino.
and then DK is talking shit now in sign language. I don't know if you've been
Yeah.
listening to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about fucking dude is my son, like after he scored one of the tutties.
I saw it. There were people translating the sign language telling us what he's saying after his touchdowns. It was
Talking
pretty
about
funny.
Bland can't cover me or some shit like that, whatever it was. I mean,
DK's on some shit. He's a different dude.
oh man. Yeah, I was extremely high on JK Isaac. I had JK everywhere. He was incredibly cheap. Nobody believed in him. And you saw like that he actually started to get the workload. And we saw what Gus Edwards has done so far. So I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate with JK. I think that would have been a huge dub if he was able to stay healthy, but he got injured, so we had to take the L there. Lavian Garris, we put too much weight on QB efficiency. Understandably, we need to put even more weight on the coaching scheme. Yeah, I feel you, Diaz. I feel you, Diaz, for sure. Can't hear you, Hammer. Can't
Obviously,
hear
I
you,
was
bro.
talking obviously I was talking more on the consistency side. And I totally agree with that. But listen, we in a lot of these different scenarios when it's super close, even when we're doing pick'ems and stuff like that, the quarterback matters. You know what I mean? And if you're gonna tell me like Jamar Chase, right? How differently do we feel about Jamar Chase the rest of the season because Joe
Mhm.
Burrow's not there? So it's the same kind of principle. So we anticipate these star quarterbacks being there. With Olave, it's a little bit different because he's got Derek Bum-ass Carr and Jameis Crab Legs Winston. So, but we know Olave is fantastic. But yeah,
Mhm.
there's going to be weight on the quarterback. That's a factor in why we think these guys are going to reach that peak production that we think. Like Garrett Wilson was really good with Zach Wilson, one offensive rookie of the year. We thought he was going to take the next step because he was playing with Aaron Rodgers into being a top 5 wide receiver. So
Mhm.
that's we can't assume, okay, Aaron Rodgers is going to get hurt, so we shouldn't rely on that. You know what I mean? We look at the quarterbacks when we're looking at these star guys.
Mhm. Can't be wrong because of injury. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. Wilson Hall get a pass, DJ Moore too. Yeah, me and Hammer actually have a bet on DJ Moore, and so
Yeah, I'm
far,
going down.
it looks good.
I'm just gonna mail the Mountain Dew next time I go to Walmart. This one's over. You got me.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, I think we had a bet before the season that DJ Moore would finish as a top 20 wide receiver, and it looks good so far. Jets offensive
Yeah.
coordinator was garbage. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's fucked, man. Same with Olave. They changed the scheme. Saints changed the scheme on him. Yeah, I mean, I think I talked about Olave, was it last week or maybe the week before, how like he doesn't get any easy catches. Like you don't see him just
Mm-hmm.
catching slants. He only runs slants on like 6% of routes, which is bottom 3 players in the league on those kind of routes. So it sucks a little bit, but he's getting the air yards. I mean, he's getting targeted deep. They're just not necessarily connecting. So
Those are not very
T
efficient plays though to stack up on top of, like, you if you get a couple of those deep passes, that's cool, but you want those easy 5-yard passes and let him do the rest of the work. So I totally agree.
T-Law or Brock Purdy, Armando said.
I think I'm going Brock Purdy, bro. Brock Purdy's been in a groove. He is playing against Philadelphia, but you can move the ball a little bit against Philadelphia. They don't have a stout defense. Trevor Lawrence is taking on a Bengals team that is reeling, but I'm gonna go with Brock Purdy here. He's got his full complement. You know, he's Trent Williams is back. Debo Samuel's back. He's got Kittle. He's got Ayuk.
Really?
He's probably got the best skill player in the NFL in Christian McCaffrey. He's got his full complement. It's Brock Purdy here.
Yeah, I might go with Brock as well. I think I'm gonna go with Brock as well. Marty said Sanders was last year consistent. Yeah, no, he
He
was for
was
sure, but it's
good.
just a totally different offense. And then to think that he was RB 15 on that great offense, and then go to a different offense where he doesn't have that all line and most likely
Rookie
was not going to
quarterback.
score
Yeah.
double-digit touchdowns again. It kind of put him in the automatically like RB3 category, like took him out of almost RB2 contention. But I think a lot of people thought that he was going to start to get the reception work back that he did like the first season, but obviously the Eagles didn't like that because they stopped throwing the ball to him. And we kinda a lot of people thought that he was gonna get all the receiving work as well this year, and now he's getting no work. So, I mean, it's rough. It's rough. I know he did team back up with Deuce Staley, which I did like. I think I had put some, on maybe Instagram earlier in the season about that. I did like it, but it's hard, man. It's hard. Song, what up, Song? What's goody, Song? Which 2 would y'all start? Dubes, Higgins, Dortch, or Hunt?
I think I'm definitely playing Romeo Dubes in this scenario. He does have touchdown upside.
Mhm.
T. Higgins with Jake Browning is I don't know quite what to expect from T. Higgins, especially that he's been in and out of the lineup. It should be T. Higgins here, but you know, there's some factors that are involved with him. Greg Dortch, no, thank you. Um, Kareem Hunt, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna go Dubes and Higgins here.
Yeah, I think probably is Dubes and Higgins, but Dortch, I mean, Dortch is interesting. I mean, 9 targets last game, 8 targets the game before that. Still got Michael Wilson out. I mean, it's interesting, but
Mm.
I think I'll probably still go with Higgins with the
Dortch
Smith
is
scheme that's
interesting.
even affecting the RB. Yeah, I feel that Diaz. My bad was picking Bijan over Hill. Difference between first and sixth. Yeah,
Yeah, Tyreek's been
sure.
awesome.
James Conner has 2 in the league with yards after contact. Problem is he's getting contacted 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, that's true. Kyler is running in the red zone because he's clearly scared. T-Law, Tua, or Purdy?
Ooh. Well, I took Purdy over T-Law, so am I taking Purdy over Tua against the commies? I don't know if I have the stones to do that. Purdy's been playing really well.
Yes, but
Ooh.
Tua
has a great matchup,
playing
dude.
well too. I mean, it's
At
close.
Washington.
I'm gonna take Tua.
I don't want to get burned, dude. I
don't want to get burned either. That's why I'm just going Tua.
Oh God. I think I'm gonna take Brock. Brock's playing so
fair.
well, man. With all I'm going Brock Purdy. I'm gonna go Brock
Nothing
Purdy.
wrong with that. They're neck and neck. I mean, it's close one, but I'll still go with that. Still go with Tua. All right. Song said flex Amari Cooper, Rice, Dubes, or Gibson.
I think I'm taking Rashee Rice, man. In this scenario,
I mean,
taking Rashee Rice. Dubes has some upside touchdown wise, but
yeah, it might be Rice. I mean, Dubes doesn't have crazy
volume,
upside.
no.
Antonio Gibson is interesting this week just because of the matchup. I do like Gibby a little bit, but I can't play him over Rice or Cooper. I mean, is Flacco going to air it out? Like, is Cooper going to be getting some deep targets? I mean, possibly, but Rice is going to give you at least. Oh man, it's either between Amari almost and Rice for me. I mean, even Dubes, you can make the argument there too, but I think it might be Rice. Do I think he's getting 10 targets again and 100 yards? I mean, probably not, but he's probably got one of the better chances of getting a tutty. So let's just go with Rice.
Yeah, I'm taking Rashee Rice. He has the highest upside out of any of these guys.
Crispy said he will be when Cup is gone. Smokey, what up, Smokey? Falcons or Steelers D and Cooper or Collins full PPR?
It's definitely Nico Collins, so I'll work backwards here. Let me see.
Yeah, even if he sees Surtain,
that doesn't bother me that much, to be honest with
you. I think I'll still go with Nico there. And then we've got
Falcons taking on
Falcons
taking on the pathetic sack that is the Jets. So that's a very, very intriguing defensive stream there. And then you got the Steelers taking on the Cardinals. Yeah, give me the Falcons.
Yeah,
with Tim Boyle.
Too. I have more faith that the Jets will fuck it up worse than the Cardinals.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Birdman said he can't cover him. JK would have went so hard. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Will he ever come back? I mean, I don't know. There's a chance. There's a chance he could. I mean, they say that because it's the other knee. So basically, they say that once they repaired the one knee, that knee is basically bionic. Now he just repaired the other knee. So technically, he's going to have 2 fucking bionic knees right now. And
he's going to be Adrian Peterson, is what you're saying. Thank you. Shut it down. J.K. Dobbins is running for 2,000 yards next season. That's exactly what Steve's saying. He's bionic. He's Adrian Peterson. Just bring it up. That's what you're saying. Listen, that's what I'm hearing.
I'm bringing some positivity to the man.
Right.
But
bionic.
No, I don't have faith in J.K. Dobbins. I'm not betting on him. If you have him in Dynasty, you almost just have to hold him because nobody's going to buy him. You have to hopefully hope that he possibly gets a chance to play somewhere. Can he work his way into a role somewhere as some kind of RB2, RB3? Possibly, of course. But I'm not betting on it. You know?
Yeah, I agree. And I also think the emergence of Keaton Mitchell has kind of solidified that JK is not going to be back with the Ravens.
DJ Moore get a pass. I don't know why I said DJ Moore, but yeah, DJ Moore's been. I mean, he's been good. Andrea, what's up, Andrea? Appreciate you. Marty says DJ Moore sucks. You don't like DJ Moore? I was a DJ Moore guy, but he's kind of in a tier. He's a little bit overhyped at the moment. But
But he's been good this season overall. If you
That's what
look
I'm
at the final
saying.
tally, he's been solid, man.
Mhm.
He
I'd
did have
trade for
that one
Olave in
ridiculous
my
game.
point per air yard league.
Absolutely. Wide receiver 1 Diaz. Lock him in, baby. Let's go.
That's it. Lock it up. If they just let Jameson fucking sling it around. I mean, come on.
I know. I
Let the
thought the
man
same exact
sling it,
thing. 30
you
touchdowns,
know?
30 in toes. Some of that'll go to
Oh,
Olave.
we're fine with that. That's all right. It matters for fantasy. That's all. We don't care.
Yes, yes, yes.
Andrea said she needs 2. Mostert,
Okay.
Pacheco, Bijan, Stevenson. Wow.
Woo! Ramondre Stevenson
Wow.
is not even in this conversation. It's
He's been
between
awesome
Mostert.
lately, but between those guys, yeah, I think, yeah.
That's my point. I'm going Mostert. Obviously, I think Mostert is a lock. I think we both agree on that with the matchup and just how good Mostert's been this entire season. And then for me, it becomes down between Pacheco and Bijan. I like the way Bijan has been playing the last couple of games, but Pacheco's been really good too. Give me Bijan if Arthur Smith doesn't fuck it up, which that's a big if. That's a massive if. But give me Bijan here. Although Pacheco's really good. He could have 2 touchdowns tomorrow. But give me Raheem Mostert as the lock. And then Bijan Robinson with the upside.
I think, I mean, they are playing the Jets, but still, I don't know if that matters as much.
I think he'll be fine. The matchup is interesting because Pacheco's playing the Packers, where he could get loose for a couple of touchdowns. But I think Bijan just want to, and also too, right? Like Bijan is a guy you drafted as one of your workhorses. As you know, he's a guy you have capital invested in. It's
I think Pacheco's safe, but yeah, I think like you said, yeah, Bijan is. I think I'm going Bijan and Mostert as well. Let's do that,
yep.
Andrea. Bro, nah, Sanders is going as RB2 easily. I mean, for most people, just not me.
Yeah, you hated Sanders.
For most people, I mean, yeah, everything was that's what I'm saying, like, everything was there, like, it lined up, right? He got the contract, he was awesome last year, like, it was
He was
all
gonna get
lined
the
up
work.
good.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Yep.
rookie quarterback, not a great offense, okay, they're gonna run the ball a little bit more, he's gonna get all the work, he'll get the pass catching work as well. I just kinda refuse to believe it. I mean, I liked his price, like, to take the shot in certain spots because, like, he wasn't crazy going for RB2 prices everywhere, like, he wasn't. There was still a lot of people that did not like Sanders, so but yeah, it was a tough one. I'm just glad I don't have any shares of Sanders and I didn't lose that bet, but need 3, Chase Olave if he plays, St. Brown, Devonta Smith.
Yeah, obviously St. Brown is. There shouldn't even be a question with St. Brown.
Mhm.
Um, and then I think it's Chase and Olave if Olave plays. Now, Devonta Smith, I believe, has a later game. Yeah. Devonta Smith has the 4 o'clock game, which is obviously the issue here because, well, no, because I mean, Jamar Chase, you're playing. Jamar Chase plays on Monday night. Olave plays at 1, and Devonta Smith plays at 4:30. So that's the monkey wrench here. That's
Is it
interesting.
crazy to sit Chase? Is it crazy to sit Chase? With Olave playing the
Um,
Lions, maybe they have to throw the ball a lot. I mean, or is that just too much wishful thinking? I'm playing a little just devil's advocate
no,
here.
no, I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I'm not in this scenario because you have 4 really good wide receivers, right? Devonta Smith, I think, would be the 4th wide receiver in this scenario. Obviously, Chase gets the downgrade because of the quarterback situation. Olave too, to a lesser degree, and the injury, but I, I'm not going to say you're crazy. I wouldn't do it. I'm still playing Jamar Chase, right? Somebody's got to get the targets. They're going to throw the ball. You would imagine at least 25 times. Jamar Chase is probably going to get 7, 8-ish targets, and he'll have an opportunity to get a touchdown. And he's still really good where he can still take it to the house, right? If they throw him a 5-yard slant, he can still take it to the house. He's that
It's
kind of
true.
dude. So I'm still playing Jamar Chase. You're not crazy because I definitely understand it in this particular scenario, but I'm still playing Jamar Chase. Obviously, I'm playing St. Brown. And then you have to Well, no, because if Olave's out at 1 o'clock, then you just plug
That
in
makes it
Devonta
easy.
Smith. Yeah, if
Yeah, if
Olave's
Olave's
out, you
out,
just
then that
plug in
makes it
Devonta Smith. Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I think I'm playing Devonta and St. Brown, and for me,
Okay.
I'm either sitting Olave or Chase. I think that's what it comes down to for me.
That's
I think,
fair.
like you said, it is kind of hard to sit Chase, but man, Olave. I mean,
Hmm.
against the Lions, I guess I'll sit Olave. It is really hard to not play Chase, but that's close, man. Armando, appreciate what y'all do. Thanks for the advice. No problem, Armando. Appreciate you, man.
That's what we
Appreciate you.
do. Get her done.
Mikey, who do I start at flex? Godwin, Noah Brown, Jaden Reed, Greg Dortch. All right, we got to pick
This is a
one of
really
these
good one.
guys.
This is a good one, and a little bit of a tough one as well, because Godwin is still pretty good, right? He's still pretty solid.
He's a
Jaden
little
Reed has
banged
been
up.
fantastic.
Godwin is a little banged up. Just throwing that out there.
I didn't even check.
I think he's actually a game time decision, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me check that out if Sleeper
Yeah,
decides
it's
it because I want to act
questionable.
up.
Says, and they've got the 4:05 kickoff.
Mm-hmm. The Packers are playing Sunday night, 8:20. I think I'm leaning Jaden Reed here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Dortch is interesting, but I might have to go Jaden Reed as well.
They have a
Yeah,
legitimate
give me Jaden
rapport.
Reed. Give me Jaden Reed. With Aaron Jones out, with Dylan a little bit banged up, I think they're going to try and get the ball in Reed's hand a little bit. Let me get Reed.
And I said this I believe I said this on the Tuesday show before my internet pooped out. Like, they get Jaden Reed involved in a number of different ways. So he's been really good. He's basically their Swiss Army knife, right? He runs the ball, he gets the catches, he gets the touchdown looks, he's good in the red zone. He gets a little bit of everything. So I really do like the way they're utilizing Jaden Reed. He's not going to go crazy, but he'll be a really, really solid flex play, and he could get you 15 points on any given night.
Chargers or Bucks defense, I'm guessing, Birdman. Bucks against the Panthers, Chargers against the Patriots.
Chargers defense hasn't been good, but they are playing the Patriots in Foxborough. Oof. Bucks playing the Panthers at home, divisional game.
Who's playing the Bucks? I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I
can't trust the Chargers.
No, I don't trust the Chargers either. Give me the Bucks. I agree.
I'd rather
I
just
agree.
lose on if I'm fuck it. We'll take the L on the Bucks if it happens, but I'm not going down with the Chargers D.
No, I feel that.
Dia says, I thought the bionic thing was for Achilles. I have no idea. I just thought it sounded cool and was trying to be funny
No,
about
it's
it.
for the knee, and he's talking about Adrian Peterson. He's talking about the knee. That's all he's talking about, Diaz. I just
the best part about Winston is first throw, pick six, which triggers an automatic 45+ pass attempt games. Exactly. That's what we want. We don't care that he's not going to be there next year or be the quarterback next year. We just want to.
What are we getting right now from
For
Olave?
right now, let me get the best I can get for Olave.
Facts.
Let me explain, y'all. Stevenson is who they trust and the only one in New England. I'm 100% with you on Stevenson. Just in that particular situation where we're talking about, I don't know, I can't even forget Bijan Mostert, who is RB2. I mean, Bijan Pacheco. I mean, I like Stevenson, but it's going to be hard to play him over those guys. Pitts or Logan? Jeez.
That's a question. That's a legitimate question because Logan Thomas has been pretty solid from what I remember. Kyle Pitts, can you throw Kyle Pitts in there to that disappointment kind of thing we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, but I wasn't high on him for this season, like he was going to bust out. I mean, I know we're going to have to wait for some time for that, but I've got him in a few dynasties. I just take the chance on the upside. Fuck it.
Logan Thomas, currently tight end 14. It's been pretty solid for the most part. Didn't have a good game last week, but overall has been okay. Does have 3 touchdowns on the season. I haven't even heard Kyle Pitts. Like when I'm watching Red Zone, I don't even hear Kyle Pitts' name get called very often.
Oh,
Like
I mean, they're
that's
playing the
not.
Jets, so it's not a great matchup. You
Yeah,
could
I'm taking
say with
Logan Thomas.
I was gonna say you could say with Logan Thomas that against Miami, they could be throwing the ball a lot. So, let me take the chance on Logan Thomas. So I think I'm with it. Let's go Logan Thomas. No problem, Andrea. Appreciate you. I'm with y'all. Yeah. Feel you. That's my old team. I can't trust him.
So a funny thing, really quick, just to finish off the Chargers point. I was talking with Bagala, and we were saying something, and bro, like it just seems like they have so much talent, like top end talent, year in and year out, and they're just a massive disappointment. Listen, we all know Brandon Staley needs to go. I don't, I don't think there's any question. I don't know how he survives the rest of this season. I don't understand. They're 4-7. They look absolutely pathetic in a lot of these games. So Brandon Staley, get out. Should have been out after that loss to the Jaguars in the wild card last year.
Jordan, what's up, Jordan? McBride or Joku? We actually got this question earlier. I think we both went with. Did we
I
go
went with
with McBride?
McBride.
No, I think we went with. Yeah, I think we both went with McBride, right?
I thought you went with Njoku. I went
Did
with
I go with
McBride for
Joku?
sure.
No, I
I
think I
don't
went
remember.
with McBride. I think we talked about Joku and how he was good. I think I went with McBride though,
Yeah, I'm going McBride.
but that's close. That's close because Joku's been awesome. But again, another new quarterback coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is Flacco going to be slinging it though? Diaz said Hopkins,
What is
Reed,
up with you and
Nico.
Flacco? Are you feeling you some Joe Flacco? Is he on the super flex radar for you this week? You love you. All I hear is Joe Flacco slinging it from you.
I mean, what the fuck? That's what we saw last year. The guy was fucking QB like 1 the fucking first 3 games of the season last year. I mean,
Oh God.
I can't get a little excited about a guy that can sling the football a little bit. I mean, that
No, I'm not
Browns
excited
team
about a
hasn't been able
38-year-old
to sling it like
stature.
that.
No, I'm not
For
excited about a
1 game,
38-year-old
for 1
stature.
game, you don't
No,
think he's gonna just air that bitch out?
no, no. I don't.
Mm.
I don't. Because if Joe Flacco
Listen,
was that good, he would have been on a roster to
I'm
start the
not
season.
saying I trust it and it's gonna happen. I'm just saying, like, don't be surprised. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. That's all
Yeah,
I'm
no.
saying.
You know what? Do you want? Can we put some Mountain Dew on this? Is Joe Flacco going to finish as a top 15 quarterback this week?
I'm not saying he's gonna finish as a top 15
That's
quarterback.
what.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, all I
I'm
hear
just
from
saying
you is Flacco
he's gonna
slinging it, gunning. That's what. Anytime you said Joe Flacco on this show, you said chucking it deep or slinging it or
is that not what he
bamboo.
does? Is that not what he
I
does?
I understand, but that's all I've
I
heard.
can't get
As if you're
excited about a
insinuating.
quarterback that can throw the football a little bit. I
No,
mean, we
you
have
can't get
all these
excited about a
receivers with
38
garbage
year old quarterback.
quarterbacks. Garbage quarterbacks. We finally have a guy that can fucking sling it. They won't give us Jameis Winston. At least they give us fucking Joe Flacco.
No, I'm not excited about Joe Flacco. I'm not.
You
He's a
know, they
fucking
give us
statue.
fucking
No,
Desmond Ritter. I mean, come on. At
no,
least
I'm not
Flacco can
excited about
sling
Joe
it.
Flacco.
That's all I'm
This
saying.
isn't 20. There he goes. There he goes.
All right, get to the damn question. Focus here. All
Let's
right.
go. Let's go.
Hopkins, Reed, Nico. We need 2.
Okay. DeAndre Hopkins is taking a seat.
We're going Reed and Nico. I'm going with that. Joko or McBride. We just got that. We're going with McBride.
Mm-hmm.
1.75 premium. Would you flex one of those tight ends over the wide receiver options? No, I think I'm rolling with Reed and Nico.
I think I agree as well. And I think I said this before as well. Like they get Reed involved in so many different ways. He just doesn't have to
But
receive
but
everything.
but I mean it is 1.75. So can we throw Joku in there? Might go Joku over Reed, and it might sound a little crazy, but with the
No, with the
1.75,
175, I
I
get it.
think
I get
that
that.
I think that think that we could go Joku there, Diaz, for me at least.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hang in there with Reed. He's been really good for me. I do have him
Sense.
on a couple of my teams, and Reed's been fantastic for me, basically in the flex all year. So I'm gonna hang in there with Reed.
Jordan scoring, standard scoring, Algier, Hunt, Zeke, Joku need 1.
I think it's Joku at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Those are not good options.
I think so. Zeke's a little banged up too.
Ooh, this is a
Javante
nice
or
one.
Monty. Good matchup for fucking Javante too.
This is a
Might
good
have to
one.
be. Might have to be Monty though.
I think I'm still rolling with Monty. I know the thing is, especially since Monty's come back, and I did trade for Monty in the subscriber league. I know exactly what I'm getting from Monty. I'm getting like 12, 13 carries. I'm probably getting a
Play
touchdown,
more.
right? And I'm getting some goal line work.
I mean, Javante's getting just 20 plus touches. I mean, it is a good matchup against Houston. Like, when are we going to have that breakout game? Is this the one? Good matchup the next week also against the Chargers after that. Like, when is the game going to come for Javante? I mean, it's weird because that team is winning, and like, who the fuck is scoring those? Like, who's scoring points? I mean,
Cortland
it's
Sutton.
not like
It's Cortland Sutton, dog.
it's
It
not the
is.
guys that we thought it was going to be.
Not Jerry
Bird.
Judy. That's for damn sure.
And it ain't Javante. I mean, he's got 2 tutties on the season, and they've both been receiving. So Birdman said this the home channel right here. Appreciate you, Birdman. Appreciate
Birdman,
you.
you've been in there with us. You've been supporting us, man. We definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate everybody. All you guys are the best. Man, he was supposed to be gone last year. Yeah, man. Stevie says start
Yeah,
Flacco and benching all Browns wide receivers. Listen, I've got to play, I think, Amari in one league, and we're hanging on to a little bit of hope, but do it up. All right, Ford, Najee, Mixon, Devonta need 2 running backs and 1 flex. Already starting AJ Brown. So Ford, Najee, Mixon, we got to pick 2 of those.
Devonta's a running back. Oh,
Oh,
2 and 1 flex. I got it. I wasn't.
so I think I go Ford and Najee.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way as well.
Let's go Ford and Najee. Good matchup for Najee against Arizona. I mean, it was good last week. I mean, over 6.5 a carry, 15 for 99 in the tutty. We need 1 flex. So if we got a flex, that's going to be Devonta in the flex. Already starting AJ Brown. I mean, I know that kind of sucks, but I'm not going to play Mixon over Devonta. Number 1 in the league, thinking about leverage trading Devonta for another running back and a plus to these tank teams' thoughts. Oh yeah, for
If you're going for the gusto, I don't mind that, to be honest with you.
nah,
If you're going for the gusto, I'm not. Who would it be? Like, throw some of the names out there that you're targeting, and let's see if it's actually worth it. I know you don't like doing that, but if you're the number 1 team in the league and you're going for the home run, and you have AJ Brown, so to have to worry about playing those guys on a week in, week out basis, I'm not in love with playing AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. Obviously, you're playing AJ Brown regardless, but I wouldn't mind that at all. Splitting that up, turning that into a
well,
running back plus to go for it.
I,
I'm not.
I guess
I,
you
I
I
wouldn't
guess
mind
you
it.
could. I guess you could. Or you could just live with the running back room that you have and just trade Devonta for somebody like in the same tier, just moving off. Like so you get, decently at least the same production wise kind of, but it's just a different player, It's not Devonta anymore. It's I don't know who else is
Josh Downs.
who would be a good one. No, he's talking about I think he's talking Dynasty because he said tank teams. So whoever you have kind of in that same tier
I'm
as
saying
Devonta would
plus.
be,
You
huh?
could tear down and get. You could tear down and get a player better plus. Like you could get a wide receiver. A tear down wide receiver plus something else, like with
You
some
could, I mean, you
upside.
could slice it up any way that you want to. If you want the extra assets, then go for it. But
Mm,
yeah, I mean, can you do like a Waddle, Ayuk, maybe
Waddle, I wouldn't mind.
Flowers, and now you could probably get pluses on top of those, but.
Pittman.
just to get off of Devonta. Pittman is another good one, just so you don't have the two same team kind of guys. So
Yeah.
just some decent ideas. Last time D Hop played Indy, scored 3 tutties, bro. We're dismissing D Hop too easy. We could be, but
I
I
don't
think
think
that.
so. And I think Will Levis, the way Will Levis is playing, I don't have any confidence that D Hop is going to have another 3 touchdowns or a single touchdown. He could, because D Hop is still a good receiver. He's not a great receiver anymore, but I don't think we're dismissing him too easily. Now, listen, I could come back here on Tuesday and eat my words in Diaz, and I'm sure you'll hit me in the DMs or something, or come on this show on Tuesday and tell us you told us so. But yeah, I don't think we're overlooking D-Hop, and especially in the different options that we've been presented with. You know what I mean? It's all situational. If it's D-Hop or some lesser options, then we may consider it. But it's just not enough to feel good about D-Hop's upside.
Yeah, not especially on the questions, not much better options, but yeah, I think Will Levis is now like Will Levis. I mean, he had that great, obviously,
Mhm.
first game, but don't know. I
Not
mean, could he
much
score a
sense.
tutty for sure? I don't think he's scoring 3 tutties though, but we'll see. Let me remind you, the Packers had 2 easy defenses they played against. That's true also. Yep.
That's fair, but even in the games that the
Ooh,
Packers haven't played well, Jaden Reed is still very much involved. And he's playing very well, and he's going to provide you with at least a safe, stable floor. So I'm not. I think the Packers are going to lose this game. I didn't expect them to win on Thanksgiving. But I don't expect the Packers to win this game. I think they'll be competitive for the most part, maybe until that mid-ish third quarter. But I don't expect the Packers to win this game. I just want to see Jordan Love play halfway decent football. Right? 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 245 passing. Don't get embarrassed, and let's win these next 3 games after the Chiefs.
Jordan said full PPR Muth or Jawan Johnson.
It's Fryermuth, and it's not
Juwan,
particularly
man.
close.
Yeah, it's definitely Muth. What's y'all top 4 kickers this week? Need one. Kickers?
I mean, that's a weather-based question, no? We
I
gotta look at some
mean,
dome teams.
hold on, I got some over here. Jake Elliott.
Right?
I mean, Moody. These guys have been good. Dicker the kicker against New England. Mm,
Who's the Dolphins kicker? They should have a good
Sanders. Yeah, he could throw him up there. He could throw him
but
up
that
there.
it's gonna be rainy here up in the Northeast tomorrow. So all those northeastern games
Okay, so
in the
that could be.
tri-state area, there's going to be rain here tomorrow, and a significant amount of it.
I mean, Will Lutz at Houston. I don't really love. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's a good situation wise.
Saints
When we're
Lions
talking
in the
about
dome.
dome. But I mean, how about some like not as great? How about like a Nick Folk against Indy? I mean, Tennessee kicker, right? I
Maybe.
mean, Detroit kicker at New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Like that's a good one also. I'm not opposed to freaking Young Ho Koo either. I mean, the Jets are a pretty good defense. Is it going to be tougher to get in the end zone or to get into,
Mm-hmm.
to get into the red zone? But again, that's another one of those Northeast games. So, like you were talking about with the weather, so maybe that's not a good option. I just looked. I was like, oh shit, they're playing at New York. Yes, I guess those are some guys I'd look at. Have AJ Brown, Chase, Tyreek, Allen as my wide receiver. Okay, so you're kind of set at wide receiver. So yeah, if you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go out and get a running back, then I guess you can go out and go ahead and do that. Well, what do you got in mind, Diaz? Like what's out there? Do you have anything in mind? I know you got some ideas. Who are you trying to go after? Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Need one for the flex. Javante, Jaden Reed, or Achan. PPR looking to secure a buy. Thanks, guys.
That's a tough one because all 3
I
of
don't
these
think
guys can be productive.
I don't
You're going
for this
Javante,
one.
aren't you?
No, for this one,
because of the matchup?
I don't think it's that tough. I think we talked about Jaden Reed a little bit, right? With no Aaron Jones and Dylan a little bit banged up. Maybe they're trying to get him the ball a little bit. We talked about Javonte, awesome matchup. When is that breakout game gonna come? But I mean, for
Mhm.
me, I'm just gonna play Achane here. I mean, I don't think these other guys have high
Ooh.
enough upside to warrant to just not play Achane in this situation. So
I feel that because
for this one, I'm gonna go with Achane. Yeah.
I feel that from your standpoint, and I'm not just gonna summarily dismiss it because we talk about the situations that matter, right? You're looking to secure a buy, so you're going for the gusto, right? This isn't a must-win game where, hey, listen, I need at least a safe floor. It's not one of those situations. However, I'm still going to play Jaden Reed here just because I like the way they get him involved. I think he's going to be productive no matter what the game is. Now, I totally agree with you that his upside is not as high as a guy like Achan, but I think I still like steady production regardless. So I totally agree with you that Achan could have one of those crazy games that we saw against the Broncos where they're just routing the Commanders. Achan comes in the second half and he just runs for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns potentially. So I definitely could see that, or I could see Achan getting hurt again right early on in the game. So that's definitely a concern of mine. So give me Jaden Reed here. With some good usage, and Jaden Reed has touchdown upside as well. So Achan definitely has the highest ceiling of any of these guys on a per game basis. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna roll with Achane because I feel like his I don't know, like, Javonte's gonna give you decent points, Reed will give you decent points,
But
but,
not
yeah, I just feel
overly.
like that
I feel you.
yeah, I
I'm
guess
not
that's the
mad at
only
that.
but, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at playing Javonte or Reed either, though. My worry is will Love get rattled? That's why I said it.
I listen, Birdman. I think the way they've not only the way that Jordan Love has played the last couple of games has given him confidence. I think the play calling has gotten a little bit better as well. Now, no, Aaron Jones definitely concerns me because he is definitely a playmaker. He hasn't been that good virtually all season since week one. He's been in and out of the lineup, but I like what I'm seeing schematically. I can understand the Chargers defense and the Lions defense. I get it. And this Chiefs defense is definitely a top 5 defense in the league. I totally get that. But I'm starting to see some continuity with the play calling and the execution on the Packer side. Like I said, I don't expect them to win, but I just want to see him just not be lost or rattled. So
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Dia said Lutz. Group A, it's raining everywhere. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, whenever you're looking
Dome,
at kickers, I mean, we always talk about, checking
weather
for
base.
the weather and then checking the dome games. I mean, there's not much we can control, like, with kickers. So what we can control is, okay, is it a good idea to play them? What's the weather like, right? Are they playing in a dome or not? Like, those are always
Hmm.
good signs. So what we can control is, who we pick as far as, the weather is concerned and those things. And so, yeah, for sure. You definitely gotta look up in the domes. Never set my lineup until day of or night before everyone is on the bench. We got
Oh, you're one of those
Birdman's
shadow
playing
games.
psychological warfare. I mean, we've got a
Yep.
guy in one of our, leagues, which is
Yep.
Chicken, actually, my brother. This motherfucker will
He does
put
that.
guys on the bench during the week,
Everybody. Yep.
talking about, "Oh, I gotta make sure they don't get hurt before Sunday, so that I'm
I
not
got to
putting
keep
them
them
in the starting
fresh
lineup,
during
but
the
I gotta
week.
keep
Yep.
them fresh." Like, what the
I call that shadow games. That's what he's playing. He's playing shadow
f
games.
yo.
Psychological warfare. Oh
Oh
man.
my god. But yeah, I thought that was kinda funny. Birdman said he chokes. Amendola's a sneaky kicker. Amendola got cut. Um, let's see, what's Amendola's status? I mean, it says as of I mean, if unless he got cut within the last 13 hours, the last report, at least I see on Sleeper from the PC, not necessarily, and I don't know, it might be different on the phone, but it says he will be elevated once again prior to Sunday's game against the Broncos. Because apparently Fairbairn is still on IR. Does anybody know for sure or have different information maybe? Fairbairn expected to return in week 14 is what I have here. So maybe, I don't know. I bench my players a lot because it drives those projection slaves crazy that can't see what their projected matchup looks at. Yeah, it's all that psychological warfare type shit. I mean, it's funny sometimes, or
Oh,
sometimes
I don't.
sometimes I'll put like my big hammers in the flex instead of like at the wide receiver position. You know, like so like in one league, like I'll put like CD Lamb at the flex, like instead of at wide receiver.
Psychological warfare.
Just so I can fuck up that position.
I am mad at it. I will say this, the first time that was done to me, it drove me a little crazy, but then I realized that they were just playing psychological warfare and I didn't want to give them the satisfaction. So I didn't let it bother me thereafter. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. You want to play these games, go for it. I'm sticking to my guns, but it's funny to see that for sure.
Man said, "Oh, he's done. He's cut because of misses." Okay, I feel that. So who the fuck is their kicker then? Does anybody
For
know
what
who
team?
their Houston? Who's the Houston kicker? I don't see anybody else on at least sleeper that shows. So maybe I don't know.
Let
Maybe
me
they
see
got somebody
available.
else. Somebody let
Oh, we
us
don't even
know if you know.
have
Birdman says, "When I
kickers
ask
in this
y'all
one.
questions, I really use y'all info." Appreciate that, Birdman. Hopefully, we keep giving you good info. I mean, or at least the wins outweigh the losses. That's what we strive
Yeah,
for.
it says Matt Amendola to handle kicking duties in week 13 in sleeper, right?
Yeah,
That's what you said?
unless something happened after that, because that was like 13 hours ago or something. I think it said the last one was reported. So, man, lineup not set until I'm 100% ready. So I asked y'all to get the final product. Yep, appreciate you, Birdman. You're
I ain't
doing your
mad at that.
thing, man. You're doing your thing. But yeah, appreciate everybody coming out tonight, guys. Make sure you hit that like for us. If you're new and you're enjoying the content, smash that subscribe. Join the team, join the fam.
Do it. Do it.
We've got on the bottom of the screen there, I've got our Instagram, I've got our Facebook, so feel free to follow us there as well. And then we've got the email there on the bottom too. So we will be starting up Dynasty roster reviews
I like it.
once we finish off this season. So send us your roster. I'll hit you back with a little questionnaire type ish to just kind of find out about the league, what's your plan about your team, and um, I think we'll set up like two different ways. We'll handpick some of the ones for the live shows that we do, maybe, and then maybe we'll do a more one-on-one, like, separate, and that might have to be a little bit of a paid one just for the time, where they'll actually get on with us on video, like just a video call kinda between us, and we'll kinda go over things. So, if you are
I actually
interested
like
in
that.
Dynasty roster review, just send me an email, and we'll try and get that set up. Diaz said Stevenson, Keaton, Rashard White, ETN, Connor, JT, Eckler, Gibbs, Madison, Achane, all on non-contender teams. God damn it. Devonta question. Okay.
Well, this just goes to show you basically, Blanc, what your original premise is that if you have these running backs, that doesn't guarantee you could go with the Jerome Fords and the Zach Mosses and the Brian Robinsons and still be a contender. You know what I mean? So if these guys are all on non-contenders, right? And some of these guys will probably pick really high, right? JT, Eckler, Gibbs for the most part,
I mean
ETN.
I mean, to be fair, like, if I'm gonna get one of those guys or at least down or like, I don't wanna like, I want Gibbs or I want JT, like, or ETN. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
any of these other guys if I'm trading Devonta, you know? Can you get something else on top? I don't know. I mean, are you getting a first or something like that? Then, yeah, I mean, that could be a conversation, but I doubt those teams are giving up their first if they're not contenders. But at the same time, they don't seem very smart if they still have these guys on their team and they're non-contenders. So,
Maybe
I
the
think
trade
you
deadline hasn't approached.
I think you know the league better than us, so, but it just typically looking at it like, okay, if I'm gonna take one, like, I want the ETN, I want the Gibbs, like,
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at if you traded
or the
Devonta for
JT.
Gibbs. I wouldn't mind that at all. Maybe see if you could sneak in a third or
Maybe
something like that.
Nah, you probably have to pay up to get Gibbs,
Devonta Plus.
possibly.
Then would you go
Yeah.
for ETN straight up?
I don't care. I'm okay with paying it. I mean, I'm a contending team. If I can get me the RB2 in Dynasty, at least for me, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll take Gibbs if I gotta pay up a little bit. Just
Okay.
depends what that cost is. I mean, good night, brothers and chat. Everyone be safe. Appreciate you, Birdman.
Yeah,
Appreciate
buddy.
you. We'll be on tomorrow morning. So if you ain't busy, come by. One of these days, I'll go live with y'all, former NFL guests, if y'all want. Yeah,
That'd be
we
cool.
could do that. We could do that, Birdman. You know what, Birdman? Hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram. Because actually, this off season, I was gonna try and start getting into, maybe we have a childhood friend of ours, Super Bowl champ, first round pick, Dominique Easley. Uh, I'm gonna try and get him on. That would be a nice thing to have. Former NFL player, talk a little of what happened, with him in the NFL. What's he up to now? So yeah, that might be nice, Birdman. Hit me up on Instagram. The Instagram's on the bottom there, Dynasty Life Fantasy, and we'll talk because that is something that I wanted to try and get into maybe in the off season.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
A lot of these guys either inactive or dinosaurs, valuing the RB too high. Yeah. A lot of people way overvalue running backs, especially like these new school people, right? I mean, these last like couple years, like everybody's starting to get into dynasty. So these regular like fantasy people that usually play redraft now are just coming
I
into the
was gonna say
dynasty
that.
world, and it's changing a lot of things, and like you can take advantage in a lot of situations. So for sure, I mean, they love these RBs because you're coming from
Redraft. It's a
regular
redraft thinking.
redraft
Yeah.
where it's a shallower league. It's usually like a start 7 or start 8, so running back's a little bit more important. You want to have some of those guys in those leagues where in dynasty, usually at least it's a little bit more deeper. And if not, even if it still is shallow, you can still get away with spending some cheap picks and picking up some of these guys. So for sure. Bet I got you. Appreciate you, man. Sounds good. DS said trade deadline is for 14. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, higher upside this week. Hollywood Nico or Jaden Reed?
Nico Collins for sure.
Yeah, if you're talking about pure upside Nico, I mean, the only thing you worry about is just what's his name? Sertain. It's the only real thing to worry about. But he's for sure probably got the highest upside out of those guys. I mean, hopefully
Yeah, I
Hollywood
agree.
sees another 12 targets, but
Mm.
I mean, I know he's a little bit banged up. But yeah, throw any last questions you guys have in the chat as we are about to get up out of here. But it's a good night, good show. Appreciate everybody out there.
Yeah, buddy.
Hammer, you got any last words for the people as we give them another 60 seconds or so to get the last questions in?
Nah, man, I'm excited. This is I got a couple of teams that are in the playoff hunt in our home dynasty league. I am in a really good position. In my home redraft 2 quarterback league, I'm in a solid position as well. So I'm really excited to just, get into this playoff push with you guys and see how the playoffs shake out. So we still got a good, what do we got? We got 2 more regular season games. Was it 3, right?
Yeah.
No, 2.
Yeah.
And then the
2 more
playoffs.
weeks.
So we
2 more weeks in the
we're,
playoffs.
we're
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're still rolling along with getting you into the playoffs and getting that done. So
Yeah.
super excited to see, how all these trades worked out, how everything, played out with all the advice we've given you. So continue
So,
to roll with us and we'll appreciate it.
so last night in one of my dynasty leagues that I'm contending in, I'm 10-2. I ripped off 10 in a row, just fucking
Oh, here we
destroying
go.
people, right?
Tooting his own horn,
So
licking his own balls.
I posted it because I thought it was fucking just hilarious. So this guy writes in the chat, this 10-game win streak by Dynasty Life is getting crazy. I guess they don't call him Dynasty Life for nothing.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. He's licking his own balls at this
I
point,
was
y'all.
like, oh
He's
my
just
god, that is fucking
he's just
hilarious.
flexing nuts.
Um, I gotta humbly brag about it, but to be fair,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna
humbly.
post actually tomorrow one of my rebuilding teams, so you'll see one of my 2 and 10. I'll put some, I think some moves that I've made kinda all season. I've made, like, I think 11 or so trades or something like that in this league. I've picked up a bunch of guys off waivers. I've got a bunch of picks, just so you can see, I don't have all winning teams, right? I've got losing teams as well. Um, and just kinda see, what that looks like as well, so, yep. Alright, Birdman, be out. Diaz, humble brag. Yeah, appreciate you, Diaz. Had to throw that in there. But alright, guys, we are out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning about 11:30ish Eastern for the morning wake and bake Q&A. We'll go over some of the games. We'll go over some underdog picks. We'll go over some of Hammer's picks and have some fun tomorrow morning. But other than that, be good, y'all. Good luck in your fantasy matchups this week as well. What now, Hammer? What
Marty's
fucking now?
last comment. You know what, Marty? See, you know what,
Go
Marty?
pack slow.
Marty, we're not doing this. Cut the show off. God damn it, Marty. I thought we were cool. I hope you lose every single game in the
The
sub league.
Oh, all right, Diaz. Appreciate you, man. All
Yes,
right, guys. We're
sir. See
offi
y'all
we're
tomorrow.
officially out of here now. Marty, I'm coming for you, bro.